Let the bass kick.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. I'm Matt Palumbo. This is Curtis Anderson. Snap to whistle. We're going to let it rip today. We've got Lone Star action coming up in just moments. We've got the Greyhounds from Eastern New Mexico, 2-3, 0-3 in conference play, and now a 3-game winning streak, and the Wolves looking for 4 in a row. Curtis, how excited are you to be back in the booth? We got perfect weather, and we have the home cooking.
Yeah, couldn't be more excited. The atmosphere is electric. I talked to several of the players coming in. They all have that air about them. They're really excited. They're confident, looking for another win.
Well, we're going to get into major detail. Curtis and I had a chance to talk to everybody. I mean, he shook everybody's hand. He's practically the mayor. In 2019, he was part of that team that won 4 games in a row during that championship season. We're going to head down to the field, get some nice live pictures on this Chamber of Commerce Day in Monmouth, Oregon. You know when I get all excited about this weather, coin toss went up. The visitors won the coin toss, and they've elected to take the ball, and we know what we're getting from the Greyhounds. Run, 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 run.
Ground and pound, Matt. Their job today is to come in here and put the ball on the ground in their running back's hands. Western Oregon defense going to have to hold up.
Plays right into Arn Ferguson's plan, man. They're leading the conference with the least amount of yards given up from scrimmage on the ground. Again, the third phase of the game right here, Curtis. Always nervous for that opening kickoff.
Always. Looking forward to seeing Overland squad take off exactly where they usually get started.
Well, the kick is about ready to be away, and we are underway here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. It's a clean kick around the 10-yard line. Special teams going to come up big in this game, I have a feeling. They'll run it out to 25-yard line. It'll be Eastern New Mexico with their first possession. Now, this is going to be a real story here about how they are going to go with 3-4 and 4-3 looks. Gap assignments, leverage, really important against a team that basically wants to push you around.
Yeah, and Arn Ferguson's defenses are known for discipline, you know, man football, line up, play helmet to helmet, and really play with a lot of physicality. I think this is exactly the type of team he wants to play for this important game.
Well, here's the good story. A year ago against the Wolves here, they came up short with 34 seconds to go. And again, opening handoff the right side. And there is Darren Ulrich Jr. And there's a player that possesses an attitude a lot like yours.
Yeah, I mean, Darren has been the same guy since I met him when he first came onto this campus. He works hard. He plays with a lot of energy. That's a high-tempo dude who contributes a lot to this team.
Starting quarterback, Mario Sanchez, 5'11", 190-pound redshirt junior. He will also run the ball himself. I mean, this is a very, very easy, basically veer offense. They'll pitch it out to their tailback. And again, sound discipline from the line, one of the strong points so far early on in the Wolves season.
Yeah, and the veer is, at its core, it's a really simple offense. There's not a lot that's going to come outside of it. There's some option you can run off it. But ultimately, Eastern New Mexico's goal is to line up, see people in gaps, and run through open holes. I think Western's going to do just fine today.
I know one of your favorite players. He might be back returning punts as well. Andrew Simpson now, cornerback here on the right side. He's going to be important today to come up and stop those runs if they get past the second level.
Absolutely. Great edge player today.
First stoppage in action, penalty flag. Probably maybe too many. Are they calling a timeout? So that's Coach Lee on the far sideline for Eastern New Mexico. I got to tell you, 10 times more colorful than Arn Ferguson. He was quite enlightening. This is a team that doesn't get sacked very often, and actually second leading team in the country rushing the ball. They have a thing that works there.
Yeah, I mean, a strength in numbers, I think, for them. They're going to continually put the ball in the running back's hands. You see them even the way they come to the line of scrimmage. Not a lot of time for a defense to make adjustments. Center's already set. Rest of the team scrambles to the line. They're pretty straightforward in what they aim to do and what Coach Lee's mission is.
1st and 10. No, actually, it's 3rd down. We haven't got an update on the scoreboard. Looks like from the marking, what are we thinking about? 3rd and 5-ish?
35, I'd say.
Rowan's getting back to us. They're our director. Been having some technical difficulties. Bear with us. We'll get it figured out. If I could turn my phone on, but give me a moment. Sanchez fakes it. He'll pitch it out. And again, great assignment work, but again, finding the edge are the Greyhounds, and they'll get their first down, and they will move the chains.
Yeah, and one important thing when you're defending the veer, I like to think of myself as a veer expert, Matt. This is what we ran at my high school. I was playing quarterback back in my day. You have to make tackles open field. A lot of times you're going to have man-on-man blocking, which means one safety, one corner is going to be open for a tackle. You saw it there. If you miss that, that could lead to 10 extra yards.
If you have to see the Greyhounds throw the ball more than 15 times today, it's going to be a problem. Again, straight off, handoff, and again, this is, again, core to the strength of what I've seen from Western Oregon so far. They have a healthy linebacker room. They have great continuity up front on their front four, and then again, I love Copeland and Ulrich on the back.
Yeah, and I think with Western's D-line, their interior 7 really, these inside runs from Eastern New Mexico are just a service to really get them to open up their outside sort of perimeter run game. That's where they're going to look to make plays.
Looking for number 8, Malcolm Leafow today, probably for double-digit tackles today. He seems very hungry, ready to eat, as most of these Wolves defenders do, out in this alternative uniform based off the San Francisco 49ers. Have to say I'm a huge fan. Looks great. Sanchez keeps it. And again, the ends for Western Oregon, very sound.
I expect that to hold up all game, Matt. I think inside run is not where Eastern New Mexico is going to make any money. Western's going to really force them to get out on options on the perimeter, sweeps, some of these jet and fly motions. It's not going to be easy sledding in there in the inside.
Well, scoreboard's not doing much for me, so I'm going to keep looking at the chain gang. On the far side, I've got 3rd down. Ball on the Western Oregon 49, has to get inside the 45 for a first down.
This for
3, that's an interesting look. They send one of the backers out, and they go right off the left side. They gash that left side, and they'll pick up a 3rd and long on an easy rush.
And that's Coach Lee, right? That's just creative and kind of ingenuity in your play calling. He's going to set 3 backs all in an eye, motion one out so the Mike's eyes or body even has to go with him. You're going to open up a gap right there. Well-designed play on 3rd down.
Super banged up opponent today in Eastern New Mexico. They've had a lot of injuries. Right here, we'll see the great run. I mean, they get the seal here on the left side, and it is easy sledding after that. Kind of go back the same play in a bigger hole this time, trying to stiff arm at the end, and nothing there. Nice run by Ron Creighton, fullback, 6 foot, 220-pound senior from Oak Grove, and played some time at Mississippi College.
And while I mentioned what ENMU wants to get to are those perimeter runs, what you can't allow if you're Western Oregon are these large gashes from fullbacks, because then it compromises the way you defend that option and the way you defend these halfbacks on the perimeter.
Can suffocate a defense when you can hold the ball like they can right now. And again, they are extremely, I guess I'd say, talented, and they have all of the prerequisites to kind of get into these types of games, and they can really tire out a defense.
No easy games against them. They have a way of making everything a dogfight, kind of zapping the life out of your offense as they keep them on the sideline. Western's got to show up today. It's going to be a good one.
Second down and long for the Greyhounds here, as they've got a couple first downs and have moved the ball quite well. A little toss sweep action, and there it is coming up, trying to make a big hit in the backfield, but able to stop it from being a big play.
Yeah, and all I hear right now is Coach Ferguson with pursuit drill, pursuit drill, pursuit drill. He's going to want 11 black jerseys running to the ball every defensive possession. These guys are going to play disciplined at the snap, but as soon as the ball's declared, you're going to see people moving towards it.
What's your philosophy here again? It's about the third time we've seen about 3rd to 4, 3rd and 6. Now that you've seen a couple looks, what are you looking for from the defense here?
I think defensively, you expect them to run the ball still. I think they're a 4-down team when it comes down to it, so you shouldn't be surprised at these 3rd and long runs.
Now they got Sanchez. He is going to throw. Throws behind his receiver. I think with the forward progress, that is going to be a catch and another first down on 3rd down. That was Deontay Saunier, 5'10", 168, redshirt freshman.
Yeah, and very surprising, right? We've seen him run on 3rd down. Western Oregon's linebackers get sucked up in the box. Next thing you know, it's a nice little bootleg pass from the quarterback.
All 3 of those first downs coming on 3rd down, 3 of 3 conversions for the visiting squad. And there is no room to run on the right side for Creighton.
Yeah, and we're actually, like you mentioned earlier, our scoreboard a little delayed. That was 4th and 1 right there, so a big 4th down conversion.
I'm going to go up and put up the live stats for us. I think that'll help us a little bit. First down inside the red zone. This has been a very good drive so far. Sanchez 1 of 1 for 5 yards, hands it off to Creighton. And again, it seems so far the right side a little bit stronger for this Wolves defense than the left side.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell sometimes, right? Is the right side stronger for the defense, or is the left side of that line a little weaker for the offense? Either way, they're having a lot of success over there when they run the ball that direction.
Nice call on that it was 4th and 1. So 2 of 3 on 3rd down, and now 1 of 1 on 4th down. Very steady drive, and again, told you this could be a very quick game. They have literally written off half of this first quarter on this drive. They keep it, basically, they keep it right inside everything. I mean, it's a very simple attack.
It is not the run and shoot.
No. They keep it in between the hash marks. They're running between the tackles, and when they've gotten off tackle on the left side, that's where they've hurt the Wolves, and they're going right back to their bread and butter. But Simpson comes up, delays it. We got a late flag. Not sure if we're going to get an inadvertent face mask or if we're getting a hold.
No, that was a missed holding call that I think the ref corrected himself on a little late there. It appeared to be a pretty egregious hold on that outside linebacker.
Again, we talked about Andrew Simpson, just so much about the talent that is there. It is going to be a personal foul. I caught it. Wow. It was a face mask. Chad Regal gets the face mask pulled there. And now it gives you down in distance. They'll give you 1st and goal. That's half the distance. Again, taking it full advantage of this opening drive.
Yeah, and some angry faces on the Western sideline. They really thought holding penalty was going to get called, at least to offset that face mask. But now if you're Western, can you hold up? You know what they're going to do. Men in the box. Can you make plays?
Everybody sneaking up to that line. They bring Sanchez off the left side. He pushes through. And the signal goes up, and that is a touchdown for the Greyhounds. A very appropriate response to come on the road all the way up here. They now penalty flag down, and this is something I did. I talked to the referees, Curtis. I hope we don't see an unsportsmanlike conduct here. You know it gets chippy down there early on as you're trying to establish, your domain out there.
Yeah. And for Eastern New Mexico, though, I mean, could you have a better drive in terms of your philosophy, your style of play, how you want this game to go? Take the ball all the way down the field, like you said, chew up immense amounts of clock, really dictate the pace.
Fortunately, we don't have a mic on our referees today. We're going to say the touchdown is good. We're going to get a personal foul on the defense. Didn't catch who it was on. Giving us a replay here of Sanchez getting into the end zone. Easy quarterback sneak, offensive lineman elated as the extra point now going to be attempted. Kick is up and it is good. 7-0 for Eastern New Mexico. We will be back with more action here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Impressive way to start on the road.
Very impressive, and I think it's really important that Western's offense comes out now. They sustain a drive, make sure they put points on the board, make sure they give their defense some time to take a breather, because that's a lot of time to be on the field.
Ron Creighton, on that drive alone, of the 13 plays, 8 carries for 42 yards.
For a big day for Mr. Creighton.
Had a chance to talk to Jermaine Land. He had a severe concussion. Now a short kick here, fair catch by the Wolves. Oh, interesting. If the fair catch is called by someone else and someone else touches it, they can't run it.
Yep. It's a dead ball either way. You're taught, at least we're taught in a Matt Overland special teams unit, if you're one of the big guys, you're fair catching every time. He's rarely ever given a big guy a license to run the ball. So that could be a little frustrating if you're a returner. But with
Chris Taylor didn't call for it, but he's the one that caught it. It ends up now that Wolves will take their first possession deep in their own territory. Again, special running backs have been here over the years, and Dominique Loggins is turning into one. He ran for over 200 yards against this team last year. Also at Cal Poly, first player in over 20 years to run for over 200 yards against a D1 team. So Loggins, number 30 today. He's ready to eat. He talked to me about how excited he is. He's got Kainoa Jones back in there. You see a lot of RPO, but they're going to come out in a big spread here with 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. Good to see Kevon Edey at the top of your screen, back after a little shoulder injury. A deep threat, top and bottom of your screen. Froggy, number 2. Damon Hickok, one of the leading receivers here in the Lone Star Conference. Well, 7 minutes or left in the first quarter, and the Wolves finally have their first offensive play. Jones, on a design quarterback draw, just follows the center right up the middle. And again, strength of this team right now is the offensive line. They said they can rotate as many as 9.
Yeah. Very, very big, very solid up front, and they all know exactly what they're doing. That's important. They know their playbooks. They know assignments. Great O-line this year.
Nobody wanted to give me any of the trade secrets here, but here it is right now. Great play out to Hodge on the screen pass from Kainoa Jones. I like the tempo. I like it when this team plays with urgency. Sometimes they get a little bit lulled into it, and I understand. the price you might pay after a team just bludgeons you for 13 plays.
Yeah, I think of matchups like you're putting together a fight, and what a great matchup stylistically. A team that wants to play with pace, take some shots, versus the exact antithesis in the NMU.
Kainoa Jones gets it, and he will get a first down yardage on that. And again, they just flipped the set now here on their next set of possessions, and they'll get Loggins on a nice little wheel pattern. He turns on the Afterburners 50, and he's pushed out of bounds just briefly by Micah Lewis, but that is exactly what you want to see. The top end speed for Loggins. Once he gets downhill, have fun.
Yeah, and for Kainoa Jones, not forcing anything. He had a read there. It was either going to be the hitch or the wheel by his running back. He made the perfect read, quick throw, nice and easy. Well done by Loggins.
He might have been out of bounds earlier, Curtis. I think they did catch it.
Yep.
The ball's way back here. Again, it's a first down, but again, it's hard sometimes when you're running that fast to keep your feet, where you want them. Loggins doing it out of the backfield with the reception, not running the ball. Quite surprising. This looks like a running set if I saw one. Loggins off the left side. Again, lowers that left shoulder, gets to the second level, and another first down.
And that's a confidence-building run if you're Loggins in this offense. You're chewing up 10 yards on a carry. That really demoralized.
He averaged 11 yards in September last year. Yeah. I mean, they had to be scared to death when he touched the ball. Human first down.
Absolutely.
Coming back in right now, a little bit of spelling, give some time. I believe, can't tell, getting used to reading the red numbers against the black, not the easiest thing to do, but Loggins has been subbed out. Jones, already 2 of 2, hands it off on the right side. Greyhounds finally have an answer for the offensive line of the Wolves, but they pick up 3.
Yeah, and I think if you're ENMU's defense, their aim today, Coach Lee's aim, is going to be to put Western Oregon in 2nd and 3rd and long, force them to become a true passing team. I think that's probably their objective, and I think Kainoa Jones can rise to the occasion today.
The actual player's name in the backfield, his first name also Kainoa. Kainoa Sire in the back. Jones straight drop back, looks, pump fake. Now he's got all the room to run in the middle of the field. Makes a man miss. He's looking for a block, tries to get outside. He was looking for the marker. I like that he kept his eyes up the whole time.
Yeah, great run from Kainoa Jones. Just a two-dimensional quarterback. He's very athletic. He's got a lot more wiggle than you would think as well. Well done to get a big chunk back and make this really manageable.
They handed off to Sarah. Was it Jones off the left side?
Jones with the keeper off the left side. Did his job. First down, Wolves.
Maybe Kainoa Jones knew what he was talking about. He had a wry smile, had a little grin on his face when I saw him sitting on the bench. But, again, great composure here. Kept his eyes upfield. Maybe protect the ball a little bit better. But you got to like that number right there, don't you, Curtis? Number 3.
There's not one better. I love it.
Again, smart. And they talked about this. Overland talked about it with me. I didn't get to Harris. But they talked about they wanted to mix up tempo versus, hey, we'll slow it down. They don't want to give them the same look. They don't want that same picture on their eyes.
Absolutely.
Jones again on the design run, right side. Swallowed up by the interior line of Eastern New Mexico.
Yeah, and a long staple of Western Oregon's offenses. They're not afraid to see their quarterback get hit, as you can see by this first drive.
Left tackle out there, Keating Hinckley. Got to give a shout out to his college counselor. I met her the other night. She wanted to say hello. I believe it's Mrs. Gross. But gosh, you can't miss him out there, number 78, about 6'4", 345. Doing a great job protecting Kainoa Jones and Jordan McCarty.
Big boy and a stellar player. He has been for several years now.
Sayer gets the ball, lowers his shoulder, and again, I love the north-south approach so far from Arn Ferguson and the coaching staff. They are not trying to hit the edges. They want to go straight ahead.
Yeah, and I think, Western Oregon's offense right now, similar to NMU, controlling pace, controlling tempo, sustaining a drive. This is great for them. They got to cap it off with a score.
2 minutes left. 13 minutes have evaporated here in this first quarter, and it's only 1:25. I mean, that is super quick. Loggins left side. No, it's fake. Kainoa Jones trying to go up over the top. Man open in the end zone. Touchdown, Wolves! Best I can tell, it was Kevon Edey, and if it is, I'll tell you, they say what is scary about Kevon is that he's just so fast, but it was not. Again, getting used to these new uniforms. Believe it was Chris Taylor. No, it was Kevon Edie. I did have it right. They say I can't remember what Froggy called it, but go ahead and give us the breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, you just see great play action. Kainoa, I mean, you couldn't put this ball better if he walked down there and handed it to him himself. And one thing about Kevon, and he's been this way since he was a freshman in this program, if you've got him isolated man, he has the footwork to get open on just about anybody.
Long touchdown from the Wolves. We'll be back with more actions as the Wolves tie it up 7-7 here on Flow Sports and Woo TV. Welcome back to a sun drench. MacArthur Field in Monmouth, Oregon. Matt Palumbo and Curtis Anderson here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Well, minute 48 left here, Curtis, and we got a 7-7 ball game after Kainoa Jones goes over the top to Kevon Edie for the 30-yard touchdown strike.
Yeah, and again, you see it here. Great play action. Also, Loggins, not a selfish running back. He will get him pass pro. He will keep his quarterback clean. And Edie is just as talented as they come on the perimeter. Excellent execution from this Western offense. 10
plays, 88 yards, 5 minutes and 12 seconds of game time, capped off by the 30-yard touchdown. Edie had a 52-yarder here in the home opener against West Texas A&M. So, big play. We got some stats coming in. Really appreciate that from JD. It is nice to get a look at this. Third down conversions, 3 of 3 on that drive. That's a great sign for the Western Oregon offense. Kainoa Jones, very, very heady first drive for the starting quarterback for the Wolves.
Yeah, tale of two sides of the ball, Matt. I mean, if you're offensive coordinators on both ends, you're very pleased. Defensive coordinators got some stuff to figure out.
Kick is away. Run back by the Greyhounds to be on the far side of the field. They'll take it outside. It looks like the 20, near the 25. Keaton Emmett with the kickoff for the Wolves. I don't think the scoreboard works today. The more I keep looking at it, I'm like, I don't think it changes except for the time, and they've got the score right. Timeouts are right, but it just says 1st and 10 all the time. It is 1st and 10. Second possession here for the visitors from eastern New Mexico, who came out with authority on that first drive. 13 plays, 75 yards for that opening score. And again, it was pretty much just straight at you. Little counter action again there on the right side, stingy for this Wolves defensive line.
And both of these possessions initially for ENMU, Western has done a great job at playing against that counter. They're not getting lost on eyes or fake polling. Really, really well done by that Western front.
Again, this is the battle of what I'm waiting to see. This is the top rushing team in the Lone Star Conference against the best rush defense. And right now, I mean, you could say they do need to clean some things up. It seems right now more success for the Greyhounds the further they get outside the hash mark.
Absolutely. And right on cue, you know, just trying to run up the middle. That's great nose work, great nose tackle work. Linebackers filling gaps. Great execution by this Woo defense. Can they come up big on 3rd and long?
Xavier Owens coming in, probably for a little bit of nickel package from the Wolves here. Again, I can't get over this. I mean, now 40 seconds left in the first quarter. This is only the 3rd possession of the entire game, 2nd for Eastern New Mexico, and the Wolves now at 3rd and 7 have a chance maybe to flip the field. Sanchez is going to throw, looks over the line, goes outside. It's tipped, and who gets it? The Wolves' big interception. There is a bevy of blockers. It is a pick 6 for Andrew Simpson. Wolves on top.
And who else? A young star on this defense. Great work by Andrew Simpson. That's someone I'm always excited to watch play, always excited to connect with, because he's had this energy since he got here. Well done.
No kidding. Coach Lee told me before the game, most concerned about his team turning the ball over, and that has electrified this crowd, and now that defense is probably going to get frisky the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and you know what that does as well is just really demoralizes your offense, because now you know in 3rd and long or 3rd and medium, those passes aren't givens. I mean, it was a pretty open crossing route, Matt.
Lone Star Conference Special Teams Player of the Week puts the Wolves up 14-7 here on Flow Sports and Woo TV after the pick 6 from the Wolves. Well, you got to stick around because big things happen here on Woo TV and Flow Sports. Andrew Simpson, 35-yard pick 6 return after Sanchez has his pass deflect off his intended target. Simpson, right place at the right time, takes it all the way back.
And that's little bro to me. And he did something I've never seen someone do in my years here, and threw his pick 6 ball to a girl in the stands, which is about
somebody's got to squeeze. Somebody likes somebody.
Well done, Andrew.
Big kickoff into the end zone, and the Greyhounds are going to choose to bring it out. And right now, I have a feeling this Wolves team, like I said, is about ready to get real frisky. I think they've now got all of the confidence after just kind of, like I said, got beat up on that first drive. They go down, the big strike to Edie, and then they answer back on defense with the pick 6.
Yeah, blood in the water now. And if you're Western Oregon, this drive could be the game ender. I know it's early, but this is how you really set an egregious tone against
what happens to a team like that is one-dimensional. If they get down by 2 scores, it's got to be like, oh no, what do we do?
They can't throw their way back into it. Exactly, Matt. So right now, if you're Western Oregon, keep them in 2nd and 3rd and long. Take advantage of those situations because you know the quarterback struggles.
13 seconds remaining in what has been pretty explosive first quarter from both teams, but the Wolves getting a score on offense and defense. Sanchez will go up the middle, and again, that'll be the final play of this first period, and if that's an exclamation point, you got to know right now that the front 7 of the Wolves, they just did it. Yeah, I'm like, we're not open for business today.
Yeah, and they're here to play. You can tell this defense has so much energy right now, and they only got another influx of it after that pick 6. So
we'll take a break here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Wolves on top by a touchdown after the Andrew Simpson pick 6. Well, we're back better than ever. Snap to a whistle. Curtis Anderson, Matt Palumbo. We had ourselves one heck of a first quarter. It flew by in an instant, but basically, I'd say 3 plays defined it. And I would say it was the first drive being one sustained play for basically for Eastern New Mexico, and then obviously the Kainoa Jones to Edie touchdown, and then punctuated by Andrew Simpson's interception return for the touchdown.
Yeah, and so much weight on this big 2nd and long right now. I mean, if you're Eastern New Mexico, you need 4 yards here to keep this well-oiled machine you believe you have going.
Tough thing for Eastern New Mexico. They score about 32 and they give up about 32. So again, points to be had against this team. And what's been really, really to their detriment is the turnovers.
And even more so than a turnover could hurt this team, penalties, pre-play penalties, 2nd down, 3rd down, and long is going to be almost unovercomable for them. They just don't have the passing game.
Bring up 2nd and 15 on the false start. Fairly clean first quarter. We only had a couple penalties. So, I mean, again, football has been basically, again, played between, the hash marks. Really, really strong running game. Dominic Loggins, though, again, hurting the Greyhounds on that wonderful pass from Jones out of the backfield on the Wolves' opening drive and score. Somehow we haven't even started the clock here in the second quarter. That's amazing. Now a little bit. And this is what they talked about. And I was worried about this. Ulrich's going to track down the man that gets the reception. And they talked about it. Paul Revis talked to me about it, but a great reception from Jace Martin and the pass coming from Newsom out of the backfield. Halfback toss and then a wonderful toss.
If your quarterback can't throw, we'll find out if our running back can.
And it was. And Paul talked about it. When you get bunched up like that, if somebody gives you a little bit of a hitch move and go, I mean, look at that. I mean, the assignment's completely blown on the bottom there. And good thing for Ulrich, he was able to come back and get it. And by the way, it's the feast or famine. It was the Andrew Simpson. Yeah, I hate to say it. It's just, we talk about what is there. And it's tough for him sometimes, I think, to keep his focus. I think he plays with so much energy.
A lot of passion. It's easy to get distracted. I think in that play as well, you're looking at, you really believe it's sweep. In your mind, you're not thinking that running back's going to stop and throw the ball. So
they answer the penalty with a trick play, and now they've moved it into Western Oregon territory for the second time. Not only their second possession after a minute gone here in the second quarter. And they're right back to what they do. Again, they are going to just feed their running backs. Sanchez will run himself. I just don't think they're going to get anywhere with it, Curtis. I think if they're going to do anything, everything has to go get wide. They have to spread out this Wolves defense.
Yeah, and now if you're Coach Ferguson, you have them exactly where you want them. You're 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Show us that you can throw the ball. Show us you can pick up yardage in a chunk. I think if you're Eastern New Mexico, this should be 4-down territory. I'd stick with your run game, try to get it to 4th and 3 or less, but I'm curious to see how Coach Lee handles this predicament.
Again, this is a team you can't sack Sanchez because they don't throw the ball very much. And again, tackles for loss. This is going to be, I think, a big component of this game. A little pitch out to Creighton. Creighton getting his 9th carry. No horse collar, but it'll bring up 4th down. I was a little bit worried on that tackle that we might get a horse collar, but they call it clean.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of the exact opposite of what you want if you're ENMU, because not only did you not attempt to pass, you did run, but you gained nothing. So now you're still in the same position you were just in.
Number 12, Xavier Owens comes up with a tackle. We're seeing a lot of him, and again, speed kills, and that was all done based on Owens' speed taking the angle of the attack. It is 4th and 6. Curtis calls it correct. Sanchez is going to throw again underneath the middle and almost threw a second interception. They'll turn it over on downs, and you are right. This is now the place. What do you do if you're Western Oregon? And you know what I know you do. You put your foot down.
Absolutely. This is where you put your foot on the gas pedal, beat the dog. There's so many expressions in football that are used here, but this is where you score and really start to pull away. I think if you're Eastern New Mexico, the big concern is your quarterback couldn't look less comfortable in that pocket when he's in a passing situation.
I mean, I don't want to say it's like a deer in headlights, but you get the sensation, Gannon and I, weekend where I was talking, he was the incumbent quarterback last year. He talked about it. He was a 1-2-3, and then he ran. But he talked about Kainoa was in, and he said more about McCarty, kind of 1-2. If he doesn't have it, they're going to run. But Sanchez looks completely, got a penalty flag here as they have Hickok on the screen. And again, big chunk yards after catch.
And that one's going to come back. Your motion man never got set, and this is not the CFL, so they are not going to let that fly.
It was Cade Hustler, tight end. And again, a different look. I mean, when I see him, it reminds me of Andy Abke. Big guy. I mean, just, you just slumbering out there. You can't miss a guy, again, of that size. Tony McAdoo's in the game, number 80. Somebody I want you to watch, Curtis. I think there's a wrinkle in there for him today. I think he's also one of those really fidgety guys they want to find if they can get him in space.
Absolutely. Yeah, another talented perimeter athlete for this Woosh.
Or as I say, like, it's ubiquitous. They're all over the field. How many players do you have between 5'10" and 6'1" that play at Western Oregon that are about 175 to 210 pounds?
Yeah.
Like, you got them all.
Shifty guys.
Edey will come to the bottom of your screen, and I like this. You got the duo, got the dynamic duo here with Hickok and Edey. And look at this. Did I call that or what? They did. They do a little inside handoff or flip right to McAdoo. They want to turn him loose.
Yeah, and number 10 there defensively, I mean, just a sound play. You have a running back coming out who can pick up that block, but only if you invite yourself upfield too far. He played that incredibly well.
They gave him only the line of scrimmage? I gave him one. They gave him a yard. McAdoo got 1 yard on the carry. Trips wide receivers, top of your screen. Edey down here, already with a touchdown in the game. Middle linebacker showing blitz. Tries to get the middle picked up by the Wolves. Kainoa Jones throws behind his receiver, but again, shows that pace in his arm. And what a nice reception.
Yeah, and, not for nothing. Kainoa Jones can throw on the run both directions. He can flip his hip. He can swivel. He is really a talented arm. I know we focused a lot on his athleticism and his ability to run, but he does have a great arm.
Fife now gets on the positive side of the field for the Wolves with the first down yardage from Jones. And I think Jones, is he still perfect in the game? That's 4 of 4 for 52 yards. Again, between him and McCarty, I think about 55% of their plan. Jason Gallant just in front of us here, starting point guard. Loggins, though, breaks one through the middle, gets to the second level, and now kind of just slicing and dicing through this tired defense.
And he is so dangerous anytime he touches the ball. I mean, if you're Eastern New Mexico's defense, you're scared. It's a guy
scared.
Yeah, you're scared. It's a guy who's touching the ball and guaranteeing yardage. It's well done for Loggins.
Funny thing is, he averaged 11 yards a carry on his first carry. You know how many yards he had?
I'm going to guess 11.
Hey, you know how to play this game. Kainoa Jones. Fresh set of downs. Has Loggins. Fakes it. Now again, the play action. All the time. Surveys the field. And I love the poise we're seeing from number 3 right now. Nothing there, and he runs and gets positive yardage. And what is impressive about him from week 1 here to this week is he seems like it's slowed down, and he keeps his eyes out in front of him.
And 2 things that play made me think of. A, offensive line, and the difference in having an offensive line that can protect like that, it's immeasurable for a young quarterback. B, how many Western Oregon quarterbacks have we seen in the past that are still going to try to make that throw, try to make something happen? He tucked it and ran. That's just well done by Kainoa.
First time we see Jones underneath center, Sayer in the backfield. More traditional kind of eye set. Again, they're running off the right side. And again, you can see the enthusiasm now even for the guys up front. They're like, hey, we can do some other things now that we know that we can buy the time for Jones. And usually by this time, I'll tell you, I thought we'd see McCarty on this drive, but Jones has earned it the way he's playing right now.
Yeah, and for Coach Harris, Coach Ferguson, getting your run game working and chewing up Eastern New Mexico, chewing up this clock and kind of giving them a taste of their own medicine. There's a little bit of a sick love for that I'm sure they have over there.
Sayer gets it right side. Nobody's going to touch him. Touchdown, Wolves! And they made that look absolutely easy. They seal off the right side. Sayer goes in, and it is a big-time 2-score lead for the Wolves on the touchdown run.
What a play by Sayer. You're going to see here, it's well blocked, but more importantly, he sees a hole, hits a great cutback. That's as easy as a touchdown as he's going to get. I don't know if his jersey got a single scratch on it on that play.
Had some time at the Air Force Academy, went to Tualatin High School. Always love it that over 80% of the students that play here at Western Oregon University come right here from the great state of Oregon.
Yeah, fantastic homegrown talent.
The kick is up, and it is good, and the Wolves 21 unanswered here on Flow Sports and Woo TV. We'll be back for more second quarter action coming up next.
Let the bass kick.
Well, I hope you've been with us throughout the entirety of this game here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. 21-7. Eastern New Mexico University and the Greyhounds came out and had a brilliantly scripted first drive, scoring 7 points on 13 plays. The Wolves since then have tacked on 21, answered a 19-yard run from Kainoa Sayer, puts the Wolves up by 2 scores, Curtis Anderson, and I think that's a trouble spot for the visitors.
Yeah, and honestly, incredibly impressive work by Brian Harris in this offense. They know what they're trying to do. They're executing violently. Their pocket is clean. Their run game is well orchestrated. This is just really good work from this Western Oregon offense.
Well, this is interesting. So when we had the coin toss, we found out Eastern New Mexico won it. You got to think right now, again, if you are the visitors, somehow get this ball and, again, just take the air out of it. See if they can go sustain something and make it a one-score game going into the half.
This is a must-score drive for their team. They have to score on this possession.
I say no doubt about it. I agree with you. I think they're in a world of hurt. Keaton Emmett will kick it off. Good hang time. Fumble by the Greyhounds, and that's going to cost them if the Wolves can get in there and tackle. And I see a flag from midfield. Typically, that's in the direction of a block in the back.
Yep, block in the back, hold, something that usually benefits Western.
Coach Ferg doing a little bit of pacing today. I'm sure he, again, I asked everybody that I could talk to, Curtis, if he was surly today. Seems to be in good spirits, but you know if there's something that the officials did, he's very keen to know what it is they're going to call.
He doesn't miss a thing.
Jawville Collins also, they had a nice kind of, midnight thing here last night for both the women's and men's basketball. They start up here and not too far from now.
Yeah, exciting. Another program that always generates quite a bit of excitement on this campus.
I can tell you, from what I saw at Media Day, the men's basketball team, I can tell you, they ate their Wheaties and lifted a lot of weights in the offseason. They look fit.
I love to hear
that's
it.
a costly penalty for the Greyhounds as they now back up to their own 10-yard line, 9-11, fitting number, 911. They might be calling for an emergency here as Sanchez, again, with an interception, will send a man in motion, and they'll do a little bit of misdirection, but look at how good they are on the outside. Lee Emo, I believe, is with the tackle out there.
That is not a small tackle. I mean, you have a really, really good play. You get the defense flowing one way. You isolate that backer, and just flawlessly done by Emo.
Well, we said the key for success for Eastern New Mexico was going to be to chew up the clock and get good first down yardage, but they get nothing there. 2nd and 10. They'll go with the inside handoff again, but they finally are able to get one loose, and they'll move the chains outside about to the 27-yard line. Nice run there.
Yeah, and a little bit of shifty work there, too. That was one of their better runs they've had. That was the first time that counter motion has worked for them. They're trying their hardest to sustain a drive right here, because without it, they are in deep, deep trouble.
22 plays for 125 yards before this drive started. 16 plays, 155 for the Wolves, leading by 2 scores. Off the left side again, and there's just a huge collapse inside there as Tyler Copeland, with his 2 interception, comes in and get a half tackle from his defensive back position.
But see, if you're Eastern New Mexico, that is your offense. That's your identity. 4 yards, 5 yards. You can do that the entire game and feel okay. If you're Western Oregon, now's the time to button up, get a stop, and get your offense back on the field.
With your buddy Joey Sinclair out there, I like this Copeland-Ulrich duo in the backside of this defense for the Wolves. They like to get up and they like to hit. Again, such a pleasure to talk to Darren Ulrich. Again, it was a freak injury. He knows that, but talked to Coach Metzger and said he plays with zero hesitation and no fear.
Yeah, and that's just his mentality. You know, he's a true competitor. This game means the world to him. This sport means the world to him. As someone who deserves to come back and play well, I'm happy for him.
Sanchez in a bunch formation again. Several of them, look, he's going to throw again out to the outside. And again, nice play by Sanchez, and I got to give credit actually to Aaron Woodard. I think he kind of had a beat on it. I think if he'd taken one step earlier, he might have been able to get a pick six there himself.
And that's what I was just going to say. You can measure a quarterback by the time the ball spins in the air between him and that receiver. You just know that throwing is not natural for Sanchez because nothing's on a rope, nothing's on a line. It's a lot of floated balls. Those Western Oregon DBs are licking their chops.
Very deliberate from Coach Lee, and I'm not surprised. Again, they've got all 3 of their timeouts, and their whole agenda here is just to find a way to trickle this thing down the field and get points on the board before they go to halftime. Sanchez keeps it for the first time off of the right side. He'll get out to about the 45.5, 46-yard line. But again, like you said, Curtis, he doesn't feel comfortable back there.
Yeah, he's really uneasy. It's not sexy football, but this is what ENMU wants to do going into this half. If they can run this entire clock down and still get a touchdown, that is Coach Lee's dream, I'm sure.
Elijah Zay in the backfield, number 28 for the Greyhounds. Sanchez is going to throw again. He gets hit on the backside, floats it up. 2 men collapse on it. It looks like Copeland and Woodard will get the tackle, but Sanchez kind of really going against it, throwing against his body in the opposite direction.
Yeah, talk about not making that easy on someone who's already struggling a little. But takes a big shot, gets back up. That's toughness. That's grit. That's what this quarterback needs to have in this offense.
Joseph Northcutt, defensive lineman, comes off the field for the Wolves, kind of pointing to his right shoulder. We'll have to take a look at that. Coach Metzger following him around on the sidelines. 1st and 10 now, and it is the Greyhounds in enemy territory as they are trying to do something on offense to basically, again, I said just take the air out of it. They want to suffocate the Wolves here again, and it feels very much like the first drive.
This is going exactly the way they want. And that's what against any other team, you might see a 4-yard first down run, 4-yard second down run. You don't feel too concerned. For ENMU, this is their game plan in effect.
Zay hasn't touched the ball yet from what I can tell, number 28. He had 22 carries for 99 yards and a touchdown last September in the victory over the Wolves. Again, they go with the misdirection, and again, maybe the first missed tackle I've seen from the Wolves defense this afternoon.
Yeah, and the running backs are starting to get a little bit of life. They're getting a little jittery. The more you see that inside run, fullback dive, 32, 33 veer work, you start seeing these other counter options get to work a little bit more.
Newsom with the carry. He averaged 9.6 in this game a year ago. Also had a touchdown, 48 yards in their victory against the Wolves last season. Now 1st and 10. And again, I think this drive started late, maybe 9 minutes, maybe 8:50 left. I mean, they've chewed up the time in this second quarter again. Dominating time of possession over the Wolves. Still trailing. Sanchez to throw again. They have a wide receiver screen set up. Great blocking from the Greyhounds out there. Allows for positive yards.
Yeah. Great blocking on the edge. Again, they're making things easier and easier on this quarterback, trying to get him some confidence. They know throwing is going to be needed if they keep this deficit. So I like what Coach Lee's trying to put together here.
Jeremiah Moore with the reception. Brings up 2nd down and long for the Greyhounds. And again, just these 2 drives just feels like Western Oregon's been on the field for a long, long time. Heading to 3 minutes to go. Sanchez hands it off again. And again, rare to get this team for a tackle for a loss. That's either going to be a net gain of 0 or they lost a half yard.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the first time we've said his name, but Malcolm Luau, that's one arm, that's strong, that's physical tackling, that's the anchor of your defense, making a great play to force a 3rd and long. Now you show up right here.
True 4-down territory for Eastern New Mexico. Sanchez in trouble, will flip it back, and I think this is going to be trouble. That play looked broken from the start.
Yeah, even the motion seemed broken. I don't think they were exactly on the same page there. So now again, your Woo's defense, you've got your 4th down. For ENMU, they'd consider this manageable. I would not be surprised to see an option or some sort of run still, even though it's 4th down. That's just the kind of offense.
Again, everything discombobulated there. Sanchez barely getting it away, and that could have been all sorts of trouble. Didn't give Chad Regal much room to maneuver there against a defense that's been rallying to the ball, led by Andrew Simpson's interception that was returned for a touchdown. They'll call a timeout. We'll take a brief break. 1:55 left. Wolves up 21-7 here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Welcome back to Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. That was the 2-minute timeout. Very important 4th down and 5 for Eastern New Mexico. Curtis, we're talking about the 2-for-1. If the Wolves defense comes up strong, they've got all 3 of their timeouts, and they have a chance to get the 2-for-1 special. Score at the end of the half, and then get the opening kickoff in the second half.
All the leverage here. And even if they don't score, you stop ENMU from scoring, get the ball back with a 14-point lead. This is a monumental 4th down for this offense and for this defense.
First time we've really heard the Western Oregon faithful playing the house music. For whom the bell tolls right now, Eastern New Mexico, it will be in a world of hurt if they cannot convert here on 4th and 5. Sanchez flips it out, contained from the Wolves, and they're not able to get it. Wonderful design play to get Newsom outside, and we said it all day long. Once they're outside the hash, that's when they get busy.
And it's exactly what I was saying prior to that timeout, Matt. They will run an option on the perimeter just as if it's a pass play, because they know that that's their better chance than it is to throw the ball down the field.
And again, Coach Lee couldn't be sitting prettier. Started the drive on his own 10-yard line. What do we got here? Are they moving the ball even further forward? No, this gave them the first down. They've marked it, looks like around the 21.5-yard line, so not quite in the red zone. But Coach Lee's got 3 timeouts and an offense that's taken it from its own 10 now down to the 22 of the Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Box, they get everybody up in there. Creighton runs again, and it is that team mentality or the pack mentality of the Wolves defense. Defensive back, somebody down for the Wolves in the backfield. Can't quite, I think, is it not Simpson, is it? Nope.
No. And he's back up without even the thought of a substitution.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes it hurts for a second, sometimes it hurts for a minute. All good. Clock continues to roll just the way Coach Lee would like it. Sanchez, all the time in the world, steps up in the pocket, will have to become a runner himself. And coming back from the defensive line, again, just staying home. Great contain again. Now a player really down, I think, for the Wolves this time. I couldn't tell who made that tackle, Curtis, but...
Yeah, Gio Antonini.
Antonini. Inzanaval, could be Italian, I don't know. Palumbo, but, you know. Player down for the Wolves. Again, a minute 14 here, a 21-7 game that you can feel right now. The moral victory is going to come if Eastern New Mexico can cash in and get 6 points here. it won't be a moral victory. It would be kind of an exclamation point in the first half if the Wolves can somehow keep them from scoring here.
Precisely. I think if you're Western Oregon, similarly, if you can get the stop here and really go into the half feeling like you are in complete command, like you said, it is a moral victory that likely secures the real-life victory. You see here, I mean, just great play by Antonini. The quarterback's going to step up. You have a man on your body. You shed a block and still make a tackle for him only gaining 2 yards. Very well done by 90.
201 total yards for Eastern New Mexico. 120 coming through the air, 120 on the ground, 81 in the air. Again, Sanchez, after that interception, has kind of found some better footing. Again, and the discipline of these defensive backs right now, I think after they saw the halfback option pass, I think they took it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, we'll give Sanchez some of the credit, but I know they got about 41 yards of the 81 on that halfback pass, so I'm not all the way convinced.
Yeah, it was a great throw by Newsom. I believe it was Newsom or Creighton. I couldn't remember who it was, 7 or 9, but it was a really well-designed play from the coaching staff of Eastern New Mexico. Now 3rd and 6. Again, a perfect opportunity for the Wolves to make a statement here. Again, they're going up against a team that does pick up yards.
Yeah.
And again, they've had a couple tackles for losses. They've had a couple for no gain. Coming off the field, and the hurt player for the Wolves was J.J. Tofiano.
Big plays here. We've seen option and we've seen counter. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of the two.
Sanchez sends a man in motion. And again, they are going to go to that option left side. But everybody convenes for a meeting of the minds between the Wolves. You'll see Tyler Copeland come out of the middle of that again. And he just loves to get in on the run plays.
Yeah. And a good timeout. I like this a lot from Arn Ferguson. Let's play aggressive. Let's think about getting our team this ball back. I'm curious, ENMU, no field goal, not even a thought?
I don't think so. I think that it's kind of like the olden days. I mean, you say like field goals won't win games like this. Going to have to score, the big points. And again, it'll be 4th down and 6 again. And Sanchez, I think, is going to be put into position this time to throw. I don't think the option's there this time.
Couldn't agree more. I don't think you have the luxury of the surprise with a speed option. I think you have a quarterback that has to throw, or you send your field goal unit out there and just...
You were right. The halfback Regal has 47 yards on the option play.
I thought so.
Sanchez only 34, 4 of 6 with the interception that did cost his team points. But you're right. Ferguson probably wants to put the pedal to the metal here. He's like, we get them off the field. We'll have 2 timeouts, and I think that they've seen they have the speed on the outside. And even with 2 timeouts, if you get the ball with about a minute left, you still have the option to run the ball a couple times.
Absolutely. And, contrary to ENMU, Western Oregon trusts their special teams unit. 3 points here just adds another possession for them, so they would take that as well. I like this timeout a lot.
Early on in this game, Eastern New Mexico 2 of 3 on 3rd down conversions. They're 1 of 1 on 4th down conversions. Actually, they're 1 of 2. They've turned it over once in this half.
I figured this might be the case. They're looking for some sort of victory, get themselves 3 points, and head into the locker room. I don't know, though. This is risky. And I will say Simpson got real close on a PAT earlier to getting a block. Look for Western to come after this.
Ball at 12, maybe around a 29-yard field goal, we can surmise, with 1:06 left, trying to put 3 points on the board. The kick is up, and it is good. 21-10. Nice action from Eastern New Mexico, but again, sure would have liked to have been 6, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I think right here, if you're Western Oregon's offense, if you can somehow turn this 1:06 into 7 points and just claim 4 back from them, you go into the half feeling like you're on top of the world.
Appreciate the compliment when I sent you the text message. Want to thank Clayton Jones for putting together that package on the Damon Hickok 63-yard touchdown. McCarty in game 1 here a couple weeks ago. That's the nice thing, that they have the arsenal now with a healthy Damon Hickok and Kevon Edey to go vertical.
Yeah, I'm taking those 2 receivers with any 2 receivers in this conference. Those are 2 incredibly talented young men. And you have a quarterback right now who you can feel, it's palpable. He feels confident, he feels in command. I'm really curious to see just how aggressive Western Oregon comes out right now.
Let's see who the Wolves are going to send back deep. Looks like we've got Trey McAdoo and Chris Taylor. Again, McAdoo's the player I'm really excited to see. Kind of in that Marquise Simpson. There's a different energy to him. It's frenetic.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fast.
Keese is a Woo legend, offense, special teams, everything. So to be mentioned in the same category as him, I trust that this guy's got something to him.
Some confusion to whether we want to kick the ball off or not. Cooper Hamilton kind of throwing his hands up, asking, can we or can't we?
Yeah, and if I'm Western Oregon's offense, with the way Dominique Loggins is playing football, I spread them, lined up, and I'm still maybe thinking about running halfback draw the first play and seeing what kind of yards.
We've already seen what happens when he gets into the middle of the field. He's going to make something with the clock. Some confusion to why we haven't kicked off, but Hamilton has it. And, is it going to be an on? There's no way he'd go for that.
I refuse to believe.
Yeah, I was going to say, that. I saw a great one last night at Tigard High School. Reminded me of Pat McAfee for the Indianapolis Colts. Nobody was there. It forced Coach Corey from Lake Oswego to put his starters back in. McAdoo has it on the right side. It's got good blockers, and I love it. He's running straight up the field. Nobody's touched him yet. Turning on the afterburners. And if it wasn't for the kicker, that was pay dirt. And now you've got everything.
You could see that from its inception, Matt. There was so much space on that right side.
My goodness. 100-yard dash.
Kicked it right into Western Oregon's return. You could tell Coach Overland called a right return. The kick went to the right. It all worked perfectly. And now you got just under a minute. You're past the 50. Go score if you're Western Oregon.
And actually, that timeout wasn't called by Ferg. It's called by Lee. At least that's what the board says. Western Oregon's now got all three of them in their back pocket. You have the whole playbook, and Kainoa Jones sits in there.
I can't trust the board, though, because it also says,
no, exactly.
says the NMU has all three as well.
Hey, by the way, we've had technical difficulties. I want to thank everybody here at Woo TV. Basically, it could just be Curtis Anderson and I talking to each other, and it's been a heck of a fun conversation so far, but I hope everybody's getting good feedback here. Kainoa Jones back at the helm. We'll have Dominic Loggins to flank him in the backfield, who's going to be a threat also as a receiver. Kainoa Jones, got to like his passer rating today, 327.4 and 100% completion percentage.
Yeah, more clock issues here. I can see Coach Overland emphatically telling someone to fix the time on the clock.
I love it.
He wants all
54. Now you give him 5 more seconds. That's just like icing on the cake. Again, I like the variations I'm seeing basically in the route tree right now. I see Hickok at the bottom screen. Also down there is Brendan Hodge. Again, well, there's some debate. I guess we're going to 53. We're at 53. Easy now, man. Kainoa Jones, designed quarterback draw, and look at him pick this defense apart. And I got to just tell you something. I'll just tell you, when somebody kind of knows what they're cooking with something good, they got the ingredients. He knew it today. The way he looked at me, could just tell he was ready to go. Beyond
a shadow of a doubt. And, either way, that draw, it's coming, sprint up the middle of the field. They have a timeout. They won't even have to use because of an injured NMU player. Western Oregon has everything going for them right now.
Talking again with Damon Hickok and Hodge down there at the bottom of the screen. And one of the things I love about Damon Hickok's game, you know how important it is for Arn to have a good physical receiver that's going to actually get you the extra block. And he takes it seriously. But Kainoa Jones, again, right here, straight up the middle.
Straight up the middle, and again, just a talented athlete. He can do so much for this offense, and he's playing with as much confidence as I've ever seen him play with right now. This is great to watch.
6 carries, 45 yards today. Averaging 7.5 a carry. And it just seems like every time he does it, that's what I was saying from the tape watching I'd done, Curtis, is seemed like there was a little bit of a hesitation for him versus McCarty's very decisive. And it was it kind of reminds me of Ty Curry on McCarty. It was when it's time to go, I go.
Yeah, and there's benefits and downsides to both of those styles of play. Someone like McCarty, whatever the assignment line football is going to be, they can get to it quickly. someone like Kainoa, if they get in a rhythm like you're seeing and they can trust their feel for the game, they become one of the most dangerous weapons on the field.
48 seconds. The clock stops for injured player for the Greyhounds. Kevon Edie already with a long touchdown score from Kainoa Jones, 30-yard touchdown score between the dynamic duo. He'll be at the top of your screen. Damon Hickok be at the bottom of your screen. Trips wide receivers to the left. Empty backfield for Jones.
Protect the ball here.
5 wide receivers in the set, Curtis. They are looking to spread out this offense, and I love this. Goes over to Dominique Lockins. You make him an available receiver, but again, it's the poise. Jones, that was just a natural throw and catch. That was it.
Exactly. Very easy. Now you get right back in your formation. You have all the time in the world.
Gives it right back to Loggins. Little draw. Lowers his shoulder. A booming hit from the tailback, and that moves the chains. That stops the clock at 22 seconds.
This is just excellent work right now by this Western Oregon offense.
Again, it's the double down. Loggins again on the run. Just busting through the seams, takes it inside the 5. Timeout will come here from the Wolves, no doubt. And here's the great news. Still with 12 seconds, you can run it again with another timeout. You've got the whole playbook at your disposal inside the 5-yard line right now.
The world is your oyster right now if you're Coach Harris. You could line up with, spread them out, get their defense into a nickel, still run the ball. You can throw 3 times at the end zone. He can do whatever he wants right here. I am going to anticipate either a quarterback draw or something to Loggins just based off the way they're playing. Great spot to be in.
Not comparing this team yet to your team in 2019 that went on this special run, but this is a team that is on pace now to have its 4th consecutive win if things go as they're going to go today. Talk to me what it's like, Curtis, when things are just going right.
Yeah, winning solves everything. And I think the biggest thing people don't see externally when your team is winning and when things are going well is it covers up so much of the rest of it. You end up with confidence in the week. You end up with happy football coaches, happy football players. Your professors got a little more pop. It's a great thing when your team is rolling, and it just, winning begets more.
Money
winning.
can't buy me love, but I think winning can.
Winning certainly
because I love
can.
winning. Dominique Loggins will go right behind Kainoa Jones, and he has been a freight train here on this drive on back-to-back draw plays designed for Loggins, following in the footsteps of the great one, Omari Dixon-Land. We've got another good one. Hickok now in motion. He should be a blocker. It's going to be Kainoa Jones. Unscathed. Touchdown, Wolves. And that is an absolute punctuation point to a perfect first half for Kainoa Jones.
Phenomenal. And just can't speak highly enough about the level of play calling we're seeing on this Woo offense and the execution, more importantly. Number 3 right now, Kainoa Jones is at the helm. He's in charge. He's going to fake this handoff. Froggy with a perfect block on a trap block. Even Loggins, alpha play fake, comes up, seals a backer. I mean, this is sensational execution, Matt.
Great to see Kainoa Jones coming into his own. We've seen this before, and this script is being written right now by number 3, having a perfect first half in the air, capping it off with a 3-yard touchdown run, putting the Wolves on top 28-10 with 8 seconds remaining. And again, this is my favorite part. There's probably going to be one more play. You're going to get a nice little break, and you get the opening kickoff of the second half to put all the distance you'll need against a team that cannot play from behind because they can really only run the ball.
Yeah, we would be going into the locker room at this halftime break yelling, beat the dog, step on the neck. It's the ability right now to recognize the moment, get that ball back, go score, and put this game to bed. Their quarterback cannot get them back in it.
I know we're getting excited for basketball season, and I know Kevin Durant kind of hears a lot. You think this team had to hear something when they were picked to finish 8th? Because they're not playing like a team that's going to be the bottom third of the conference.
Oh, of course. I mean, anything motivates you when you're in that locker room, and having other coaches and other organizations kind of disrespect you in that way if you're Western Oregon, that's great locker room fodder.
Well, the Wolves, since they got scored on that opening drive, have outscored their opponent 28-3.
Yeah.
That's an emphatic statement about where you sit right now in your confidence level. Squib kick, Eastern New Mexico gets it around the 20-yard line. They didn't do anything with the clock either.
Yeah,
I might say something to the people next door.
We have a rookie clock operation.
I'm not liking this, guys. No. I'm sure a few seconds once he touched the ball should have peeled off. Eastern New Mexico will get the ball, and again, what started off so well on that opening drive has really been turned around by the Wolves defense. Obviously opportunistic with the interception. And again, a couple of stops on fourth down.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem when you run an offense like Eastern New Mexico does. You really don't have a lot of dynamism. You're kind of limited to what your bread and butter is. And so once they figure you out, it's hard to bounce back.
3 seconds come off the clock. Kind of a eggshell cover 2 that we see, not prevent from the Wolves defense right here. But they are going to let Sanchez try to get it downfield. He'll get a reception, but they're going to call it down on the ground. And that'll be the final play, an incomplete pass from Sanchez in Eastern New Mexico. And the Wolves happily go to halftime, leading 28-10 on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV.
Let the bass kick. Let the bass kick.
say go. Welcome back to Monmouth, Oregon. Matt Palumbo, joined by Curtis Anderson. Snap to whistle, season 2. We're getting off to a really hot start, 28-10. Wolves getting out quickly. They're going to get the ball to start the second half. It's a recipe for success in Arn Ferguson's team today.
Yeah, everything going to plan if you're Western Oregon. I think they handled Eastern New Mexico's initial punch so well coached. Coach Harris putting together a great offensive game plan. Arn Ferguson very happy with this defense.
Well, if you didn't hear anything I said, I'm not going to repeat myself, but Curtis Anderson joining me. 7-0, the visitors come in here, and it's 28-3 to finish out the first half. And again, we're seeing some of the early action here. Kevon Edie's 30-yard touchdown getting the scoring started here for the Wolves. What did you like about the offense so much for the Wolves here as we saw their defense come up with a big pick 6 here?
Multitudes, Matt. I like that they were very balanced. There was not one thing they were relying too heavily on. Nothing looked like it was uncomposed. It was all disciplined. It was all efficient. It looked exactly like they scripted it up throughout the week.
Again, right here, the nice handoff to Sayre. 19-yard scamper for number 21. Seeing action now in the absence of Jermaine Land. Again, won't see him until next week on the road. And then Kai Noah Jones right here. This is probably my favorite play of the first half.
I mean, how impressive has he been? Just fully in control, playing so confidently. He has some swagger. He has some poise. I love what I'm seeing from 3.
5 of 5. 1 touchdown, the 30-yard strike. Meaty. McAdoo will be back deep. Already a big return there at the end of the first half that set up the Kai Noah Jones climactic touchdown to end the first half. Again, McAdoo, a player to watch in the future. Again, just a different gear with him. And right now the Wolves, they get the best of both worlds. Score at the end of the first half and then get the first possession to open up the second half.
Yeah, and like we've said 100 times so far today, if Western Oregon scores here, you force this ENMU team into just throwing positions, and they're not equipped for that at this point.
Kai Noah Jones to go along with his perfect 5 of 5 for 75 yards and 1 touchdown. Handles it himself 7 times for 48 yards.
Yeah, getting it done in many different ways today.
McAdoo is going to get it right near the 1-yard line. And again, Coach Overland setting up a good return for his speedster. Trying to hit the edge, going back to the middle of the field. Takes on 3 and 4 people that want to tackle him. Doesn't go down until the Wolves will start in Greyhound territory.
And just a great return. I mean, you're looking at a real special team star, with that type of potential. You've said it a couple times. His shift, his wiggle, really good athlete, and he sees something and gets vertical quickly. That's the mark of a good returner.
Edie at the bottom of your screen. Already with 1 touchdown, 3 wide receivers, top of your screen. Loggins again in there. Had over 40 yards in the first half. Remember, a year ago he had over 200 yards against this New Mexico team. And again, Jones on the design draw. Oh, wow. Great low tackle, flipping him end over end, and Jones still gets a first down.
Starting right where they left off. Quarterback draw, utilizing Kai Noah Jones' legs.
Loggins now gets it out.
Offense wasn't set there. Got to take a little bit of time. Make sure your guys are set up.
Jalen Fife was going to get that. Fight, though, doesn't get credit for it because of penalty. Again, one of those things I talked about, I talked about the picture. We'll keep it here. The picture, that's what the offense and Coach Harris has done so well. They've switched up tempo and looks enough that they have kept Eastern New Mexico guessing most of the afternoon.
Absolutely. And they've done it, to even go further on that point. They've had sustained drives that have taken a while. They've had huge plays that have hit big quickly. And then you factor in these last 2 possessions where you're starting at the 50-yard line because of McAdoo.
Keating Hinckley, the player down, big number 78, getting looked at by the training staff here for the Wolves. And again, they've been so effective running the ball today, but again, that effectiveness has opened up everything for Kai Noah Jones to be able to spread the ball out to a bevy of receivers.
Absolutely. And it's not like he's had to really spray the ball around today. I mean, he's thrown the ball 5 times. He's using his legs just as much as the other running backs. Happy to see Keating get up there. I think it's just such a balanced attack right now from Wu, and they haven't had to try these ENMU defensive backs, but when they do, they're winning those battles.
Well, right now, this Wolves offensive line is kind of spoiled. Again, I told you, they can go as many as 9 deep right now. They can keep fresh packages and looks out there. Again, keep their opponent guessing. Loggins will go in the backfield on the right side of Kainoa Jones on 2nd down and 6. Already in to New Mexico territory. Kevon Edey again sits right down, makes a great target.
Yeah, so first pass play, they run the exact same game on the outside. Instead, Kainoa Jones goes to the running back, big wheel reception. That time reads it perfectly.
Right in there to Loggins. He'll run up the middle, and that's the second player in this half for the Wolves to be turned upside down. First the quarterback, now the tailback.
A lot of submarine tackling going on out there.
And again, the tempo is up pace. Again, this is so interesting to watch them go through different iterations of this offense. Jones steps up in the pocket. He keeps his feet. He jukes out his man. He's going out to the far side. He's looking for Pater. Touchdown, Wolves!
What a play. Kainoa Jones is playing some of the best quarterback football we've seen here in a long time today. This is excellent to watch.
I mean, complete command. He didn't even hesitate except on this little juke.
Yeah, and the best part, Matt, is he can get away with that because defenses know he can make that throw. He can flip his hips and make that throw to the back of the end zone. You have to respect that. Well done.
1 minute and 6 seconds into the third quarter. The Wolves looking to go up 35-10 on the extra point. And the kick is good. And the Wolves again come out stampeding against their opponent early here in the third quarter. We'll be back here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Welcome back on Flow Sports and Woo TV. Matt Palumbo joined alongside by Curtis Anderson. And the score does not deceive you. It is the Wolves 35 and Eastern New Mexico University 10. And it has a feeling of this game has gotten away from the Greyhounds, and it's gotten away quickly.
If you're the Woo defense and you get a stop right here, we start reaching drought territory, Matt. It becomes very dangerous.
Kick fielded by the Greyhounds, running off the right side. And again, everything's clicking over here in Monmouth for everybody wearing the black and red today. Everybody, and I think there's just something about your team, and again, I'm trying to make a little bit of the comparison, but they just feel together to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're playing it on all phases of the ball right now. Right there, great play by Tyler Copeland. Comes up with a big isolated tackle. You're starting this offense back again. And now this defense has to feel so energized. They know the quarterback has limited options. I'm curious to see if they pin their ears back here.
Chad Regal actually ended up with more yards in the first half. The halfback or running back on the halfback option pass. He was 1 of 1 for 47 yards. 4 of 7 for Sanchez, only 38 yards and a costly interception with Andrew Simpson running it back for 6 points. And this has got to be a really tough spot for Sanchez right now. You talked about his level of discomfort in the first half.
Yeah, and you know, it's not a knock against him. He's in the system he is in. He does what he needs to do for them. He is not on that field to drop back, make reads, throw balls, decide on run pass. So he's in a tricky spot here.
2nd down and 8, not the position that Coach Lee wants to run out of again. Getting ready for the big Ohio State Oregon game coming in 4:30. Trust me, Chip Kelly wants to have a bunch of 2nd down and 2s and 2nd down and 3s for the Buckeyes to try to contain the defensive line for the Ducks later today.
Yeah, and I think the way we see ENMU approach this drive is going to dictate a lot about whether or not they're trying to come back or keep this from getting embarrassing. I really mean that. I think, you know, these sustained drives are good, but when you're down 25, they got to aim for some chunk plays.
pretty interesting. Again, they came out and really played smash mouth football. The opening possession was 13 plays, 75 yards, taking 9 minutes. I mean, again, they need something to that effect. They have got to keep the defense off that is slowly getting gas right now. The pitch goes out. And again, wonderful hit. Copeland comes up and smashes Regal on that play.
Tyler Copeland is a dog. I've seen him now 2 years in a row look like he is in command when he plays football.
Grown man. I mean,
That's a great
when he doesn't have his pads on, he even looks big. Again, Malcolm Leafout, we were talking about, has 8 tackles in the first half. Look, and I said double digits today. He's on his way. Again, Tyler Copeland, following in the rich history of having the defensive back that likes to come up and be physical here at Western Oregon. Now 4th and 5. They're going for it right here. No, they weren't. Oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't see the punt go back. Long, good, heavy punt here. Simpson's going to get away from it, I think, smartly enough. And you know what? Got to give the special teams some credit from Eastern New Mexico. That's probably the best thing that's happened in the last 10 minutes of the game was that punt for them.
Yeah, and that's never a good sign.
No, I know, but I mean, you're gonna have to take small victories here because I mean,
Absolutely.
maybe they can get the Wolves' offense off the field right now, but I don't know what you're gonna do because I asked all day. I always want to know if it's gonna be a trick play. I don't think there's anything that Coach Harris can't call. And good to see Hinckley right back out on the field after having a couple plays off. Loggins will go back in, all your starters.
I would not be surprised at all to see them get Loggins heavily involved on this drive. Not just to chew clock, but just to reestablish that they can do it this way too.
Loggins already has 2 catches for 24 yards, so he's been everywhere today. They go right up the middle with big number 30. And again, following in the tradition of Omari Dixon-Land, takes the first hit, and then you watch those legs continue to churn.
Yeah. And just a culture of success that Omari left in that running back room. I mean, you'll see that carry over from back to back to back, and Loggins will do the same with whoever comes after him.
2nd down and 1, 9 yards for Dominique Loggins, who is quickly establishing himself as the pacemaker of this offense. Once they get him in a rhythm, what it allows their receivers to do is they'll send Cade Hustler out. They got a penalty on the first time they called this, and they're trying to get something deep down the field. Kainoa's got a man open in the middle. He's got Hodge. Hodge makes a man miss, but he can't get away from him. Shoestring tackle holding on to his leg. But Kainoa Jones again, bad injury, unfortunately, for Eastern New Mexico. Absolutely wants somebody to come out now. But Kainoa Jones had all the time in the world. We'll find out who the player is down on the field here. Great eyesight.
Kainoa Jones looks incredible today. I can't stress enough. I'm not going to exaggerate when I say this. I think he's made every right decision today. Held the ball when he needs to hold it, ran when he needs to run, and thrown the ball perfectly when he needs to. Well done there.
Yeah, I can't remember who I was talking to, and when I talked to you about something, it's kind of like an inside thing that I don't really understand about. So, like, on your side, your room, the defensive backs, you get graded every week, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in a way gets graded. Whether or not your coaching staff will share that grading with you or not
okay.
Depends. We always were privy to that, whether it was Coach Miguel, Coach Overland, Coach Ferg himself when he was our DB coach. He made it, known to us, and you're graded on a multitude of things. Pursuit to the ball, assignment, alignment. So a lot goes into kind of how they grade those players. But
serious concern on the field right now. Coach Lee is out with whoever's down for the Greyhounds, and I can just tell you by the look and the way that the player is holding his hands, has suffered a very serious injury to his lower leg.
Yeah.
Don't know what that is at this time, but we will try to get you more information. But again, I was here 2 weeks ago, and Omari Dixon-Land's brother Jermaine had a concussion, and I got to tell you, it was a good 5 to 6 minutes before he got off the field. And I got to tell you, there's not a fun feeling. The worst feeling actually in broadcasting is to sit in the booth and you know that they're attending to somebody who's been hurt badly. It's a very, very physical sport.
Absolutely, yeah. A dangerous game. I mean, even as a player, whether it's your team, your opponent, it doesn't make anyone feel good because you know how easily that could be you on that field. So, obviously your thoughts and prayers are always with someone in this situation. I think and hope it's nothing too severe. Obviously, he's moving and conscious.
They're being he's very conscious, very lucid. But right now, let's take a break here on Flow Sports and Woo TV. We'll be back with an update here in just a moment.
Place kick.
Well, good news back here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. DJ Moore suffered a ankle injury of some sort, did get underneath his own power. Teammates now carrying him off. Spoke with Curtis during our time away. Coach Lee traveling with anywhere between 15 to 20 and true freshmen. He talked about kind of basically they don't have enough manpower to go up against what the Wolves are offering today as Loggins catches it for the third time today. And again, he never does anything except initiate the contact.
Yeah, that's a physical runner. He is not afraid of any measure of contact. I have seen a couple times on these swing passes, and it's probably a practice thing, or maybe they run it, to the field and not the boundary often. He's stepping out of bounds without knowing often, and it's interesting.
Something you can teach him, maybe watch out for it. It's an extra defender in a lot of cases. Don't want to ruin a good thing, and you never really make reference to it, but Kainoa Jones still no incompletions today as he hands it off to Loggins left side. He'll cut back and gets more yards out of it than I thought he would, and I think he moves the chains.
Yeah, it's one of his superpowers. He's always falling forward. He's always grinding for that extra yard. I used to have a high school coach who would talk about, you carry the ball 25 times a game, you fall forward for an extra yard each time. Measure that out over the course of a season. It's a lot of yardage.
Kainoa Jones, 8 of 8 on the afternoon, 124 yards. And again, something I have liked about the two quarterback system, but we haven't seen Jordan McCarty completing around 55% of their passes, but they're making it a nice compliment to having a workhorse like Loggins. But today, it has been Kainoa Jones's ability to run on his own, but the decision-making that Curtis Anderson is illuminating today is they're going to go back and grade this film, and they're going to say, you made a lot of good decisions today.
I've seen maybe one pass he could have thrown a little quicker, or one read that could have been done a little cleaner, but he has been almost flawless in his performance today. It's pretty incredible to watch.
I was talking about, I saw Cade Hustler earlier when he went in the motion. He didn't get set in the first quarter, and they called that penalty. They ran it again, and they were able to get Hodge down here for the big chunk play. It's put him back into eastern New Mexico territory. Now around 9 minutes to go, second down and 8, and the Wolves already up by 25. Loggins in the backfield.
Wouldn't be surprised to see
Noah's in
play
the
action.
center. They go play action. No, Kainoa has to keep it. This is the first time we've seen him hold on to it maybe too long. But, again, fleet of foot has Edie down there. And still, if Edie has a chance to come back to the ball, maybe something there. But, again, throwing it away is fine.
And that's why stats don't tell the whole story, right? That's his first blemish on his stat sheet. It's incomplete. He made the perfect play there. You force that, you throw a pick, you give them some life, no chance. Perfect play, throw it away. He extended it long enough, got rid of it, didn't take a big hit either.
It's
now
the
look for
Kainoa
Froggy.
and Kainoa backfield right now. Twin sets out left and right, 3rd and 8, around the 20-yard line. Kainoa Jones right behind his offensive line and his center. I cannot reiterate, I have not seen this kind of patience out of him.
No. And just, again, that's designed quarterback draw. Now they're going to bring in the big bodies. They knew it could be a 4 plays. I'd like to think right here they're going to go straight up the gut.
That's Broadway, man. I mean, there's nobody there, just like the touchdown run. I mean, he absolutely – and you do have to have the patience. You have to let it develop. Even though it's only that half second, it makes all the difference for you to get to the second level.
Absolutely.
Again, jumbo package here. We haven't seen anything. This is more like a goal line set. Now they're inside the red zone. Sayre already has a touchdown. And look at him rumble and stumble with second and third effort.
And I think, Matt, one of the things, too, to kind of go back to that last quarterback run, it's a compliment I'd pay to all the Polynesian brothers I've played with at this program.
Yes.
There's a level of heart and sort of toughness that they come with. Kainoa Jones is not the largest guy in stature. He is not sliding. He is taking full tackles by middle linebackers on quarterback draws all game. Hasn't got up slow once, bounces to his feet next play. It's great to see.
Good to see him wearing Air Jordans. Nothing against LeBron. Always going to go with the Jordans. Kainoa Jones now operating from the shotgun, 1st down and 10, and looking for more. First time we've seen an inside handoff to a fullback. Now that is Arn Ferguson or Coach Harris really going back to their roots.
Yeah, getting touches to guys you wouldn't expect. I'm curious now. I'd love to see something on the perimeter. Maybe get Kainoa Jones rolling out with a run-pass option. We'll see how they handle this next play.
That's amazing. I mean, talk about something I wasn't expecting to see today. Was that play call? I love it. Lee Emo, defensive lineman, playing a little fullback, getting it. 2nd down and 5. Kainoa Jones. Again, maybe that's the second one. You said it just was a little bit late.
Yeah.
A little late and high.
Little late, and also just great coverage by that DB. That ball would have had to have been perfect, right on time. I think that was just better defense at that point. But you got 3rd and goal now. I'm curious what they do. And again, this is an area where they have ran quarterback draw a couple times now and then known they're going to go for it on 4th down. So I don't think they're above that either.
Kainoa Jones with his first 2 incompletions here in the half. Hickok now on the inside. He's waiting for him. Oh, look at Kainoa Jones spin around. And Sayre comes back, gives the block, and directing traffic. Kainoa Jones again initiates the contact, looking for the pylon. He'll come up short, but he will get a fresh set of downs.
And that is just Kainoa Jones, again, incredible work. Looks like not a fresh set, so they're going 4th and goal. And if you're Woo,
Oh, it wasn't the
big
goal. I
guys
didn't know it was
back
goal
in.
to goal.
Yeah, bring the big guys back in. Let's go ahead and run it right back the way we just did. Keeping the play alive. No forced throws today. Hasn't forced a single throw.
4th and 1 on the 1-yard line. Wolves looking to stamp and put an exclamation point early in the 3rd quarter to this game. Hustler now goes in as an extra blocker tight end. They'll give it to Sayre. Bounces off the left, and there is no way. That's not a touchdown. 2nd in the game for Kainoa Sayre, and that is impressive. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and that is game blouses, as the kids say. I don't see a way Eastern New Mexico, with their offense has constructed, can really claw their way back into this one.
Bugaboo for the Wolves the last several years. You got to experience it now in the booth in your 2nd year. Wolves were kind of their own worst enemy. Stupid penalties, untimely turnovers. They've obviously protected the ball today. Very low on the penalties. And again, the fundamentals of just, it looks like a team that's playing together.
they're playing well. They're playing. I think the word I'd use the most to describe what I'm seeing is confidence. Every player on that field is confident when they touch the ball, when they line up to block, when they're playing defense. Seems like the whole team is just clicking and confident, and that's hard to replace or replicate.
I'm beyond impressed. Again, I just now have seen this twice in person. This is our second of 4 home games. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for Texas A&M Kingsville. That'll be homecoming. Then we wrap up our home slate against Angelo State on November 9th. But right now, barring something very crazy, Coach Ferguson and this coaching staff and the players are going to enjoy their first 4-game winning streak in 5 years. And obviously, I don't want to think about 2020, but it's really impressive as Kainoa hands it off to Kainoa Sayre, and to go along with his 19-yard run, he adds a nice 1-yard touchdown run. And the Wolves, again, I like your word, it's confident. It just seems like it ain't too hard right now.
Yeah, and this is a great game when you're talking about a win streak game and kind of a seminal game in your season before you hit a really tough stretch.
But go ahead and elaborate. I mean, you can go and talk about, it's like you just said, that's like a gauntlet on the backside.
For whatever you want to say about the schedule to this point, I hope those 2 Division I games prepared them, because you're talking UTPB, TAMU Kingsville, Midwestern, Angelo, Central Washington.
Oh, dropped by University of New Mexico, Eastern New Mexico University, and you can tell now the travel, the attrition through injury, and the scoreboard right now are compiling kind of almost like in a mischievous way, like to kind of undermine anything they can do right now.
Yeah, and it's hard too, because once things start spiraling, it'll spiral everywhere. I think right now, I'm never one to surrender by any means, but I think if you're Coach Lee, you want one of those first quarter type of drives, run the ball 4 yards at a time, burn some of this clock. Don't let your guys continue to get just banged up and kind of dog walked.
Can't tell. No, they did bring Sanchez back in. I don't know. I'll have to take a look on the 2 deep if they're going to bring anybody else in. Again, Sanchez is not going to be in a position where he can throw the football and do anything. He has plenty of running backs right now, but the Wolves defense has found a way, even with a small amount of the time of possession, to just really corral everything that the Greyhounds want to do. Again, we've only seen him outside the numbers really get the big plays. Otherwise, Wolves, they're buttoned up right now.
Yeah, and you take away the quarterback toss or the halfback toss, earlier, this offense has been relatively limited since that first drive, so they need something.
Great play on the outside again from the DBs today. Maybe the only mistake they made was on that halfback play. Sanchez trying to get up over the top, and they did it again. It's really funny. I think what happens, and I bet you could tell me better, you just get lazy.
Defensively?
Yeah.
More, at its worst, we'll call it laziness. If we're being graceful, we'll say they've been running the ball so much and they're lined up in these formations, your alignment gets sloppy, or you're just playing aggressive. I want to tackle too. I want involved in the action.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not getting interceptions. Let me come up and make a play, and then you get a running back on a wheel route.
Talk to you about, like with Ronnie, I said it to Darren Ruler Jr. today. I'm like, see 3 of them hit right through him. I'm like, again, and that's the fun seeing him and Tyler Copeland again. They will go out and hit you. Sanchez to throw again on a nice out. I think he's going to be short of the sticks, but one of the better balls we've seen him throw today.
The best ball we've seen him throw today. That was the first timing, execution, completion I've seen him throw. And, if their offense can string some of those together, they can at least feel good about this quarter and get some movement.
Jeremiah Moore, kind of the only one that can push the defensive backs around for Western Oregon.
Yeah.
Are we getting a timeout here? I think there's going to be a timeout on the field. We'll step away from the action. Wolves on top of the Greyhounds, 42-10 here on Flow Sports and Woo TV. Welcome back to Monmouth and MacArthur Field. Wolves on top by 32 here with 4:48. Timeout was called to challenge whether or not it was a first down on the reception by Moore. Talking about some technology changes. Now we can see the officials underneath the tent using some sort of pad to take a look at the replay.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm a defensive guy, these are the things I would be over there punching Ferg's shoulder, excited about. You're up 32 and you're challenging a 1-yard spot, seeing if you can make a 4th and 1 instead of a first down. I love this from Coach Ferg.
Not a very pretty ball from Sanchez, but it was a good decision, and he got it right to Moore where he could catch it. So I got to think, if you do it from where he caught it, you're probably saying first down.
Problem is, he doesn't get forced back.
Yeah.
He actually comes back to that ball.
I agree. The comeback. I think he's coming back to the ball, and his momentum takes him away from the marker.
Yeah. I think they might have to bring that one back and mark it about a yard and a half short.
Tell you right now, Coach Lee's not going to like this much. He's going to have to punt. There's no way you're going to give Western Oregon any opportunity. So they're saying that the first down is roughly 21 and a half, right around the 21. A little short of the 21. Here we go. We're going to get our call here. I know we don't have a mic, but no, those chains are going, they're heading south.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 yard short.
Coach Ferg, I tell you, talking with Paul Revis, I compliment you too. You and Paul are two of my favorite guys I've ever called watching you. He talks about Ferg he a little bit maniacal. He's a little bit detail oriented.
Yeah.
And he's the one that called for it. Nobody else did. It was all Ferg. And we saw him talking. He was up 18 at half, and he was chirping with them.
Yeah. And again, you'll never find two bigger proponents of Coach Ferg than myself and Paul Revis. That is the best guy, the best coach, and yes, maniacal is one of the words I'd use to describe him.
Hey, at least he smiled today, me, Curtis. Again, I got my 30 seconds. I got my 14 words. I know he respects me, and that's why I'll talk to you about it. I want to know what kind of mood he is. I like making fun of him.
Well, take solace.
Oh, look at that. You know what? I don't want to say it's a makeup call, but I think it was even close whether or not they got it on the 4th and 1. And all you saw was the far judge just go like this, moving. He's like, come on. It's gone all wrong for them. Let's give them something.
Yeah.
It would be something if Ferg went right back and challenged.
Challenges it one more time.
I think he's ornery enough. I think he's stubborn enough to do it.
I promise you, if this game was closer, that flag would be out of his
out there.
pocket,
You get two. That's pretty funny. He is. I love the way Coach Ferg is on the sideline right now. He's almost like with the way he's leaning his head. He's like, that's really where the ball's supposed to be. 1st and 10, 4:42 remaining in the third quarter. Oh, here we go. The halfback option pass again. Man is behind him. It's Moore, second reception. And Woodard got just turned around on that. And it's funny. That's been the most effective play, and it's worked twice. They're 2 for 2.
And the wildest part about that one is the throw wasn't particularly good. So the DB was beat. Receiver has to come back. DB doesn't want a PI, which I can respect, so he doesn't make contact, but then gets beat still on an underthrown ball. Just a really weird series of events there for that one to come to fruition.
News coming in from the sports office from I jinxed everybody saying this was going to be a fast game. I'm like, we'll see. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of running to end this game. And that's felt fairly quickly, until we saw the injury to DJ Moore, again, coming off underneath his own power, and then his teammates got him out. That's very good news. Again, the game's felt very quick to me because really the only slow part has really been the Greyhound offense. It only can do the one thing. It's got one gear.
Yeah, it has
a second gear.
And scoreboard errors are pretty much the only thing that have held us up.
Yeah, it'll get better.
Ooh,
trying to get outside the numbers there, they do, and that's been, again, bread and butter for them. And I got to give them credit. You talked about how lean it felt over there.
Yeah.
Sorry, my headset fell out. But they're coming out right now, and again, the pride is coming out for them. You're 0-3 in the conference, and you're getting beat up pretty bad.
Absolutely.
To see him come down and have a drive like this and have the big play, again, I'm a big proponent for competing the entire game regardless.
Football players play football, and you're seeing that a lot from ENMU right now.
Sanchez going to throw again. And again, they're going to end up, I'm going to tell you right now, Woodard's not liking this because I think they got to Moore again. He's going to sit on one of these if they keep it up, and he will either break it up or he will get an INT today.
Oh, looks like we have another guy.
He's almost giving a little too much respect. Player down on the far side for the Wolves.
Yeah, you're right. Certainly a little too much respect. It's almost a damned if you do, damned if you don't. They come up, they play too aggressive, they get a half-back pass, they play off a little bit, they'll just run hitches. It's good coaching from Coach Lee with the circumstances.
Well, today is October the 12th, 2024. 2 days from now will be the famous Columbus Day storm here in Oregon, but you couldn't ask for a more picturesque day. One of the funnest and greatest times in all of our lives, Curtis and I can certainly attest to this, is early fall in Monmouth, Oregon. How beautiful and picturesque it is right now. I mean, indelible. It's just a perfect day for football.
Absolutely. And this campus just radiates beauty. I love being a sort of representative of it now when I'm out and about, but the trees start turning. It's small, it's condensed, the people are friendly. This is the best time of year in Monmouth for sure. The rain hasn't gotten to everything yet. There's
coming.
Still some sun.
The rain is coming, Curtis.
Winter is coming.
Well, now, again, after couldn't tell again, I think we ended up seeing, I think it was Lee Emo ended up coming off the field, lineman for the Wolves. 2nd down and 1, now under 2.5. Sanchez with the pitch, and this is a problem. And smartly just falling on the ball. Greyhounds and Jacalvin Newsom really, I mean, if you had anybody crashing through there, they would have been licking their chops to go as far as they could go on that one.
Yeah, and speaking of rain, Matt, when it rains, it pours for ENMU. They just can't catch a break. They're finally down, looking like they could score.
Well, I mean, it's funny about this. I mean, I was worried about the Wolves' defense with the number of plays and the time of possession. Could it be possible that the offense is literally, they've tired themselves out?
Absolutely, especially if you're dealing with injuries and short staff.
Sanchez goes to the outside, and then, again, I think it's probably something in the coach, and you'll probably say it. They're like, look, nothing gets, they've had the 2 big plays on the halfback options, but they're gonna let them take those.
It's flawlessly played by Andrew Simpson. You've got Sticks 10 yards behind you. You're not going to give up a touchdown. You are the only man that can make that tackle. He made it. That's perfect execution from him.
Clock continues to roll in this 3rd quarter, and surprisingly enough, and I am surprised, they're kicking another field goal. Kind of had that feeling about it when Chandler kicked the first one. They don't win games with field goals. Field goal is up, and it is good. Eastern New Mexico University puts 3 on the board, trailing 42-13. We'll be back for the conclusion of the 3rd quarter here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. One minute, 10 seconds remaining here from MacArthur Field. Wolves looking for 4 in a row, onside kick, and there's no way that ball went 10 yards. The recovery is going to come from Eastern New Mexico. You can go right to the booth on this one. That ball did not travel 10 yards, Curtis.
I am very confused because
they're absolutely handing the ball right back to Eastern New Mexico.
Yeah, there seems to be no question on anyone on the sideline.
Because everybody for the defense is coming out for the Wolves. Interesting.
See if we got a replay of that.
Is that replay? Is that the sign for replay? No flag out there, nothing. Wow. I mean, it looks off. Everything looks wrong with that. No way. It's no way.
Might have got away with one there.
Yeah, I'll go with what Curtis just said. They might have got away with one there. Everybody coming back out on the defensive side. Actually,
nope.
The correct call was made. It was reversed. I could not see a way that had gone 10 yards before an Eastern New Mexico player touched it.
Well done by the officiating crew. Make sure they came together and got that one right. Now, I am going to wager a lot of energy here that they try to get Loggins in the end zone.
What a cool shot. Great camera work here right in the middle of the field. They'll send Hickok in motion. They give it to Loggins straight up the middle. Just love watching Hickok play off the ball. He really gets in there, turns his shoulders right up the field, helping Loggins get the yards. He's coming up a little bit slow, I think.
Yeah, not what you want to see if you're Western Oregon. Especially in a 30-point game, you don't want to start seeing guys get lost when it's not necessary.
Travel doesn't get any easier, like we said. Go down to UT Permian Basin next week, and I'm like, that's a team that's 2-2 in the conference right now, and the Wolves looking to stay atop with the victory today will be 4-0. And what a start for a team that was picked to finish in the bottom third of their conference on media day.
Yeah, and I think the entire stadium right now, bated breath, just waiting to make sure Loggins is okay. He looks like he's all right. Hopefully it's just a strain or a cramp.
Western Oregon really hasn't had much go wrong. I think it was I think he may just take a funny hit. And at this stage of the season, everybody's dinged up to some extent. And he might have got something. But he looks like talking and walking fine. Again, really a fine player. Again, hard to follow in the footsteps like somebody like number 23, but Loggins is definitely establishing an identity as an explosive running back. And again, I think his most effective play might be, his receiving today.
Yeah, and in his stead comes one of my favorite, just from a personality standpoint, players, Fresh Ison. Very excited to see him get some burn. It's an energetic young man.
Who do we got back there?
Fresh Ison.
All right. Jones out to Hickok. Hickok turns and makes a man miss. Going back to the middle, looking for a block. He gets every bit and every inch and all the yards he could get out of that catch.
And I'm going to sound like his biggest cheerleader today. But again, the biggest difference you see on even a simple hitch or out like that from Kainoa versus the opposing team's quarterback, balls on a rope. You give your receiver time to make a move because the ball is there quickly and sharply. Well done by Damon Hickok. Nothing new for him. He's been an incredible athlete.
Kainoa Jones can do right now. And a beautiful signal for Kainoa Jones and his teammates. Offensive line, they are strutting over to the sideline as we will come to the conclusion of the third quarter. And the Wolves are leading by 29. 42-13. Wolves on top of the Greyhounds. We'll be back for the fourth quarter, starting here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Fourth quarter action starting here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Matt Palumbo, Curtis Anderson, snap to whistle. It's our first game in the booth for our second season, but right now, Kainoa Jones and this Wolves offense can do no wrong on the beautiful out. Damon Hickok makes a man miss. And again, the physicality of number 2, who is blessed with basically the natural gift of being strong. Kainoa Jones in the backfield. He'll have 4 wide receivers. He'll send the backfield in motion again. Haven't seen this look. And Kainoa turning back to his left, getting more time. Tries to go north-south off his back foot, throws a fade into the end zone. But again, you go right through the progressions, made the correct decision.
Throw the ball away. It's everything you want in the simplest form. Is there's nothing there, let's not force it, you're playing well, throw it away, give us another chance to score.
He came in while you were still around, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there's always kind of been the thought, and I've always thought it too, I mean, it's one of those things when you see him warm up in practice, it seems so natural. And again, all I've seen today is a person that has grown accustomed to the speed and finally is asserting himself like, hey, look, I'm the man.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 10. Jones runs again, looking for his 3rd touchdown, and he makes it look easy.
Yeah. And, to your point, if he came in while I was still here, when you're starting on defense, you're actually privy to some of the guys of the future on offense. Because what you get is you get them on scout team first. So I see Kainoa Jones when he's a redshirt freshman, fresh out of high school, and there's always guys you can tell are special when they show up. Kainoa Jones and Kevon Edey, I knew the first practice I was with those two that they were going to be incredible players here. And yeah, we always wanted to instill those confidence in those guys because we knew they were going to be special for this legacy.
Wolves tack on the extra point, now lead 49-13. Scoring 12 seconds into the 4th quarter here on Woo TV. It is all sunshine and rainbows as Kainoa Jones scores his 3rd touchdown rushing today. And again, want to talk to you about the offensive line coach, Coach Manning. How would you grade him out today?
I mean, it's about as high a marks as you can give. His scheme, the way he's got these guys coached up, the discipline they play with is super important too. Their offensive line, I don't know if I've seen a single holding call, just really disciplined, really clean, and he's always been great at recruiting.
They've just been impressive. Kainoa Jones now has 12 rushes for 94 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns to go along with a throwing touchdown and over 150 yards passing. The guy's having his best day in a Western Oregon Wolves uniform by a mile.
Yeah, that's your Lone Star Conference Player of the Week in my eyes right now. I mean,
I don't think there's going to be a question about that, Curtis. I mean, you beat me to the punch. I think this was a showcase. I don't know if they saw it on film. Like, again, I just feel like when I talked to him, he knew something that nobody else knew today. Maybe that was the trick play. I mean, honestly, that he knew when he saw the fronts that he was going to see that he was going to be able to exploit it with his legs.
Yeah.
Again, starter still in on Coach Ferg's team. Again, they're not going to take anything for granted. Love to see Sanchez, see if he can get some momentum for his team as he'll throw on 1st down. Looking at Moore. And again, Simpson blanketing DJ Moore, which is their only threat vertical.
Yeah. Just a strong player. I mean, Andrew Simpson's super strong. Emotion, plays with a lot of emotion, a lot of fire. And then I just feel for this quarterback. This is just so far out of his element.
Yeah. Again, I felt that he'd had some better moments here in the 3rd quarter. It felt like that was, I just want to get rid of the football. Again, they don't take many sacks because, again, he's only in a 3-step drop and getting rid of the ball. Oh, just suffocating. Just an awesome play from the interior line of the Wolves defense.
Yeah. Nijon Sterling, I mean, big body, coming in, cleaning up a run, chest on chest fullback. Well done.
3rd and 9, and the clock continues to roll in what's turned into a rout inside of conference play for the Wolves. Again, I didn't call this game retribution, but they did kind of let one get away a year ago, losing in the final minute of the game. Sanchez running for his life, trying to get to the markers, and he does. All the credit in the world to number 10 and the quarterback for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, and for any criticism I've given to his passing ability, the heart and the grit he's played with has been good to watch. I mean, he's taking shots. He's not having clean pockets. He knows he's limited in the pass game, and he's still out there working and leading his guys.
I bet you there's great tape on him when he does pitch the ball. I think he's just been, again, it's not fearful, but I mean, I think that the penetration that you've seen from the front 3 or front 4, whatever they put up there today, it's caused him all sorts of timing issues as he holds it again, and he was looking to pitch, Curtis.
Yeah, a little bit of taking out your do-it-yourself kit here, if you're Sanchez, and seeing what you can figure out.
What's it like on the defensive side of the ball, Curtis, when you know you're on the right side, you know the victory's essentially in hand?
Oh, well, I can tell you, for me, it was always selfish season. I was praying a quarterback was going to throw a ball my way.
I know you like the football.
Garbage time turnovers. I remember me, Joey, and Ryan Minetti, we used to just fight over who could stay in the game the longest.
Smartly, Sanchez holds on to the ball. But again, he's just smothered.
Yeah, and he's taking big shots.
Before this series started, they don't have how many times he's rushed himself. I'm surprised there. 20, they've had the ball a full 10 minutes longer than the Wolves today and still trail by a big number. Positive yardage picked up by Eastern New Mexico. They're able to get the ball down there and get to midfield and move into a new set of downs now as we head towards the 12-minute mark here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think Eastern New Mexico, really content to just take some time, move the ball, see if you can get some more points on the board.
Copeland with the tackle.
How good has he been today?
Like I said, I just am super impressed with the safeties on this team this year. I just think they've got something that other teams, when they see them back there, I mean, they know that they're going to hit. And I think it gives people like Simpson and Woodard a lot of confidence that if they do get beat, that they know they're coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
2nd down and 7. Coach Lee trying to keep his team, together here. Talked about it early in the second half. Sanchez gets it out to Moore, short of the first down marker, about 1.5 yards.
You go, though. I mean, you said it earlier, his third quarter play was significantly better. He is making some on-time throws, flexing that muscle a little bit, which in the long run is going to be good for this team. Get some reps doing exactly this. Speed outs, hitches.
3rd and 1 now, under 11 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter.
If ever there was a fullback dive to run, I would think it'd be here.
All I can see is Malcolm Leaf out on the bottom half of your screen, ready to pounce if somebody comes his way. It's funny, he didn't even go into his stance. I mean, it was like if anybody, they would have decimated him.
And again, confidence doesn't just stop with the players. The coaching staff's confidence. Wu was doing full defensive line substitutions and rotations. The coaches are calling to their strengths. I mean, it's just a really, really well-run game.
Leaf and Copeland tied for team lead. 10 tackles apiece.
Not a surprise at all.
Sanchez now going over the middle. And look at that. Number 2, a pick 6. And now Andrew Simpson, with all the talent that Curtis Anderson will tell you about, has really put it together today. Very self-controlled today. Again, the Wolves team just from the get-go, from the opening kickoff, just has played smart football, And again, the throw's behind everybody, and Simpson gets to go right in there and finish it off.
Yeah, and again, playmakers. What I was just saying, when you're in the game late, playmakers are always looking to make a play. Great memories rushed through my mind when I saw Coach Overland go straight to him to put a new sticker on his helmet. I mean, I couldn't be happier for Andrew. He's a kid with all the passion in the world, and you love to see kids like that get rewarded.
It's funny you wore the number 3, my favorite number 6. So there we go. Man, it's a good combo. Andrew Simpson, again, now tying Tyler Copeland for the team lead at 2 interceptions. He's all done it in one game.
Yeah.
Again, Wolves took the lead on his pick 6. I mean, it's, again, everything changed the moment that Sanchez had the tipped pass and was able to have Simpson run it back.
Yeah.
Coach Ferg and Coach Overland. Ferg's not going to smile probably till later.
Yeah, if I had to guess, he's also – they're lucky they got that picture taken before he got over there. There are certain things that –
he waved him off.
I
Good
promise
call.
I know that man like the back of my hand.
I wish that was great. I don't want you in here.
Yeah.
Man, the Wolves today, pretty special performance, 49-13. I don't know what I expected today. I don't think I expected it to be a 36-point, win or at least lead at this point.
And I know the camera's not fixed on it, Matt, but when you look at this Woo defensive huddle down here, you see an entire group of people. You see it now. There is not a single bit of attention or energy that's not focused on what's being said. They're up 30. No one has to be that locked in. No one has to be that concentrated. That is what Coach Arne Ferguson commands. That's why he's one of the best in the country at this level at what he does.
Jordan McCarty seeing his first action after Kainoa Jones will sit the rest of the afternoon, and I don't know. Curtis will have to illuminate for us whether or not Coach Ferg or anybody gives out game balls, but I mean, if I'm giving out one, it's going to Kainoa Jones.
They don't give them out, but mentally you know who balled out, and Kainoa Jones is going to hit the town tonight and feel great about himself. That is a kid with a lot to be proud of and a lot to be happy for. I know his family probably couldn't be more
Any
proud.
special spots, Curtis?
I'll let the boys keep those secret for themselves.
All right, there you go. All right, see. You're just like them. I told him. I even called him that today when you guys like him and Loggins were sitting there. I go, you guys are like politicians. You won't tell me anything. Jordan McCarty in the shotgun. He'll have 2 wide receivers. He'll send his tight end in motion. Little handoff right side. Turning it upfield, getting north-south, and that is the furthest flag I've ever seen thrown.
I promise I was just going to say that.
I mean, that thing came from the 50 and made it all the way down to about the 35. That was impressive.
That
was a 15
flag
to 20
was
yard
launched.
There's a sandbag. That thing was got to be on the Wolves.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Fake. Get the hand
I was
up.
going to say, what an impressive turn of his shoulders right here. I mean, he's running lateral, and then boom. Just cuts right up the sideline. I hope you get to see this flag come in from left field.
I don't think it's left
that
field.
thing came from Independence.
Oh, no, man. I remember Bo Jackson throwing it like all the way from like the fence to home plate. So, I mean, it was as good a throw as you could imagine. Penalty does go on the Wolves. Again, they've had very little go wrong today. Got to like the quarterback room right now for the Wolves, both wearing the vintage Jordan cleats today. 2 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen for McCarty. Again, fun to watch him play, too, because he is a very able runner. In fact, he's decisive about it in a way that, again, is very reminiscent of Ty Curry. And, again, it's a great reference back to the 19 team that you were a part of, Curtis Anderson, that went on to become co-champions of the GNAC Conference in thrilling fashion. But this, in roughly 8.5 minutes, will be the 4th consecutive victory for the first time in 5 years in the program.
And you want nothing more than for this team to do exactly that, and to not be co-champions, but to go outright win it. I mean, this is a team with all the potential in the world. They're playing with great confidence, and like we said, they've got a slate coming up. They're going to be tested. So let's build that confidence now. Let's get these wins, and let's get into these hard games.
Important time for McCarty. Again, I love it. He takes it, immediately tucks it away, and again, just the physicality of it. It was 3rd and 16, picks up 5. Of course, they're going to bring it out. And by the way, say it for me, Curtis, what we're about. It's the first one.
Punt of the game?
We haven't had a punt. And you jinxed. No, we had not had a punt to this point. That is amazing. Moore goes back deep for Eastern New Mexico, their big play receiver. Also now on special teams, seeing if he can dial up something special. Babcock will kick it away. Coverage is there. Good angle kick, keeping it away from Moore. And I think Moore just touched it. Moore just got sloppy and lazy. That is unfortunate. That is a person that you know is they've had a mental lapse. They just checked out. It had to have touched his foot.
Yeah, and one thing I was going to say, you know, you've talked a lot today about McAdoo and what he can do as an athlete. My judgment of that is always as a gunner. You can always see what someone can do as a gunner because they're isolated. It's all effort and one-on-one. I just watched him toast the defensive back that was covering him. That is the kid. And go down, and I believe he was the one who recovered the fumble.
I think they missed this one, and anybody can boo in the stands if they want to. That's your right.
Let's see it.
I want to remain unbiased.
Oh, it did touch him. It looks like that ball got the inside of his foot.
Again, no need to, insult to injury. Again, I think your interpretation of it, your analysis of McAdoo being a gunner. I mean, I've seen it in the special teams with the two big run backs, but when you said about it, you're right. Because you could see him from the 50 when he took the line of attack, absolutely one-on-one beat his man.
Overland loves that. That's athlete on athlete.
So we definitely have some personnel changes here. Rashad Carter now in 6'2", 204-pound redshirt sophomore from Austin, Texas, and Leander High School. Comes in for Marcus Sanchez, who had a real rough day out there. But, there was some moments. And again, it was a big tribute to Coach Lee and his staff. If they came in undermanned like he said they did, they came out and punched the Wolves in the mouth on that opening drive. But I kind of said it in the West Texas A&M game. I said the only thing that West Texas A&M's won today is the coin toss, and it might be the only thing that they win. And I think the only thing maybe Eastern New Mexico won was that first drive. After that, Western Oregon has commanded this game from start to finish on both sides of the football and now in special teams.
Yeah, it's been a buzzsaw on every side of the ball, 100%.
What's it like on an afternoon like this when you do get in there? Is it like, hey, everybody, we'll see you on Monday?
No, I wish.
Okay.
I think all players wish. What really it's like is big win like this, the weather's nice, your family's here, everyone's going to be in a good mood. I can feel myself back in this setting. They're going to do their workout with Coach Metzger in the morning just to get soreness out. But tonight they'll celebrate. Everyone will be happy, good mood. They'll probably get the day off. Sunday, no film. Maybe even Monday, a lighter practice than normal. But Coach Ferg's going to have these guys ready. He knows what they have coming up, and he's not going to let them rest on these laurels.
You're only young once, Curtis. Enjoy it. That's what I'm sure. That's what Ferg says to him. I'm like, yeah, you guys are. You can't be tired. You're only 20 years old.
Yeah.
49-13. The Wolves have only had to punt the ball once. So if I do the interpretation correctly, that would mean on 7 consecutive drives, they went to the end zone.
Yeah, they have had anything and everything they wanted today, they have gotten. This has been Wolves by committee, Wolves by command.
Probably in the years, false start being called in Eastern New Mexico. In the years I've been here, I've probably called a few blowouts, but I don't feel like one has been like this decisive. And again, there's something about it, again, when they talk about the prowess of Coach Lee's teams, and again, their goal today was to hold them to under 100 yards rushing. They haven't done that, but they really have sealed off the big play.
Absolutely. It's reminiscent of, at the risk of being a little disrespectful, it feels like a Simon Fraser-Lincoln type of game where they just feel outmatched, outcoached. Wu has won in every category of this game.
Heading now under 5 minutes. Yeah, you got to actually give them credit. I mean, the Wolves are only giving up an average of 90 yards a game. Eastern New Mexico's pounded the ball for almost 200 today, and they can only put 13. You run for 200 in most games, you'd be like, hey, man, we're going to be right there.
Yeah, the volume matters too, though. They have
Yeah.
had such high volume with that run game.
On the play, new quarterback takes a vicious hit. Rashad Carter does get back up, gets the completion and a first down. On the reception, KJ Ford.
Yeah, Jesse Bass, linebacker 53, just subbed in. Cowboy collar, tall, slender guy, very reminiscent of Brian Sarbeck, who's a local Woo legend with the way he played football, just reckless abandon. It's always nice to see some of these guys come in and kind of look like guys who have played before them.
It's amazing, actually. Across the board, wholesale. It's all new defense out there, which is a credit to how well the Wolves played today. And great. I think Woodard might be the only one out there that's played significant downs to this point. Again, Eastern New Mexico run off the left side. Carter looking for the option. Sanchez liked to pitch a lot, but Carter keeps it.
Yeah.
Picks up 9 yards.
I had a high school coach once tell me, I don't know why I call it an option. You're going to keep it every time. That feels like Mr. Carter.
That's a great one. I don't know why we call it an option. You're going to keep it every time. Well, there it is. They finally saw it. Somebody threw in the white towel on the far side of the field. Apparently, there has been a concession. Hopefully, whatever happens next month at our general election is a big play for Eastern New Mexico, trying to get back on the scoreboard here late, make it look a little bit better. Hopefully, it'll be a peaceful transition of power when whatever happens here at the end of the month. But I did see the white towel coming from the far side.
Yeah, they launched that one. It was like the flag earlier.
Now it just reminds me of Rocky. Throw the towel. Under 3.5 minutes to go. Wolves are on their way to a fourth victory.
Free play.
Free play. Going for the back shoulder. They've had a couple of those today where they didn't throw the flag, and it's like everything just seemed a little bit off in the timing. It was like frame by frame.
I mean, what a clean game from both teams, but especially Western Oregon. You know, it's one thing to talk about beating up on a team and executing on offense, defense, special teams, but even penalties, keeping their cool, no unsportsmanlike stuff. It's been really, really fun to watch.
3:09, first down and 5. Got to give credit to whoever just ran that ball for Eastern New Mexico. That was aggressive. That was a very aggressive run. I believe with the handoff was Elijah Zay. And Elijah Zay, again, had a fairly nice game a year ago, 22 for 99. That was his best run of the day.
Yeah.
Probably would reward him again with another handoff, and they do, and he's going to get in the end zone. And well-played drive as Carter comes in for Sanchez, but Elijah Zay, 2 powerful runs, puts the Greyhounds into the end zone, cutting into Western Oregon's lead. Now at 30, extra point would make it 29. 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
And here's
Carter
what I
coming
know.
off the field hobbling, but again, led the drive down the field.
Here's what I know about Coach Ferg. That drive will be what they go to on film. You'll think, oh, garbage time means nothing. He'll bring that up in film with the second unit and get a lot of work out of that one drive.
Oh, you were talking about his attention to detail when you called to say, look over at what he's doing. You know, with the unit, they were all eyes were on him. They were fixed on him. Well, it is 49-20. We'll be back for the conclusion of this game on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Welcome back to Woo TV on Flow Sports, our first season with them, bringing you Lone Star Conference action. Looks like we might see Eastern New Mexico go for another onside kick, but I think we need to get to the important things today. And Kainoa Jones basically has a party to announce his candidacy as the starting quarterback for this season and the future. Jordan McCarty getting in on the last drive and also, only drive that he's been on. They had to punt. That's not to take anything away from it, but Kainoa Jones.
Uh-oh.
Again, Chris Taylor gets his first return today, and again, the special teams has gotten big yardage plays on kicks today, but Kainoa Jones ran the ball for 12 times, 94 yards, and 3 touchdowns, averaged nearly 8 yards per carry. Through the air, Kainoa Jones, 9 of 12, 153 yards and a touchdown. To Kevon Edey of 30 yards. Again, the performance was impressive. Can't say enough of it. Dominique Loggins, again, logging 80 yards after getting 209 a year ago. Loggins also gets 3 catches for 31 yards. Did suffer a small injury, and I believe we don't have McCarty in there now. I think we've gone even deeper into the depth chart. Michael Gibson Jr. out of Canby, Oregon.
My first time ever hearing of him, but excited to see another face in that quarterback room.
I would suppose right now with a yard pickup there, and again, I don't see Eastern New Mexico calling any timeouts. I would say steady dose of running the ball and taking as much time on the clock as you can. But
absolutely.
Again, place for a freshman quarterback right now, he's probably going to be a little bit excited, probably going to hike it or not. We'll keep it here. I'm going to guess, somebody. The 2-minute timeout. Yeah, we'll just keep it here again. But, really interesting spot. Again, it looks like the Wolves are going to come out of here also with no serious injuries.
Yeah.
Maybe some dings. Things that you said you get to work out tomorrow, and by the time, you have to travel down to Permian Basin next week.
Yeah, that's huge. And you hope, Loggins, we'll hear more on, but you hope that for the most part, like you said, nothing serious. All of them came out healthy. Now you got the backups in, guys who don't usually get the reps, getting some burn. This is just a great spot for the Wolves to be in going into this UTPB game.
After the last Eastern New Mexico scoring drive, Curtis, they had the ball for 37 minutes. The Wolves have only possessed it for 20 minutes and have hung 49 on the board.
More is not always better, and they have shown that today.
There again, impressive. We talked about the defense. Looked for Malcolm Leafout to have a big game. He did, but again, I think it became more apparent as the game went on about Tyler Copeland and really taking command of this game, being a run stopper, making sure they couldn't hit the edge. And again, the defensive front today, to keep the leverage away from a team that wants to do their own thing in their own way. Again, really for the exception of the first drive for Eastern New Mexico and this last drive, and that was against the second team or third team, they've been able to do what they pleased today. Again, a great 4th victory in a row now for this Wolves team that will keep it going. We won't be back here ourselves until the 26th for homecoming against Texas A&M Kingsville. And lo and behold, if they somehow get on that road and able to win at UT Permian Basin, again, then all bets are off. I mean, we did look way ahead, but I mean, how confidently they're playing right now, and if they play clean, mistake-free football, the way they are going to be able to run the ball, they're going to be competitive throughout the entire season.
Yeah, and
Central Washington's how they end. Of course, they're picked to win the conference.
Of course. I think part of the thing, too, you see, and it's part of the reason Ferg still, has this commitment and attention to detail, and he's still fiery about giving up that touchdown. The opponents are going to get harder. They know this. They're not naive enough to think this is one of the 4 best teams they're going to play. But how you execute against these teams that you're that much better than is important, and they've done everything the right way today. All phases of the ball.
Damon Hickok with a couple of receptions today. He had 23 coming into the game. Damon Hickok now fifth in receptions, and he's second in yards total coming into this game. I don't know where he's going to move up in the conference play, but again, got a chance to meet his mom before the game. Sweet lady. His dad actually went to school here as well. Hey, the kid can run.
The kid can run. I also can't believe they called a pass play right there, and I can't believe he didn't throw it. But we'll take the first down, be able to hit victory formation soon, and call this one.
Michael Gibson III takes that 6'1" frame all the way out to a first down. Again, some nice poise. Tucks it away.
The influence of Kainoa is all over this quarterback room. I'm seeing cropped jerseys, flashy cleats, and arm sleeves everywhere.
I don't know, man. Those look like tennis balls. A little too sharp shoes for me, you know? Gibson III working with a new set of downs. See if they let him throw the ball. I doubt it, but you never know. Run up the middle again, just to eat up as much clock. Again, outcome has been decided long ago. The Wolves will move to 4-0 in the conference. They will move to 4-2 overall with 4 wins in a row, the first time since 2019. Again, it's going to make those opponents like Idaho State and Cal Poly more significant as the season goes on, because they said it was embarrassing basically against Idaho State. The Cal Poly game, I watched a little bit of tape. There were some moments that gone a little bit differently.
Yeah.
It could have been an upset. And I think they took a lot from it because, again, now you're looking at 2 of the first 3 wins they get in conference are on the road, and now you're 2-0 on your home field.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Fresh.
That was sweet. Little shake, little shimmy.
Yeah.
Love the delay action there and able to keep the play alive, slides it all the way out to the far sideline.
That's my son. That's young, fresh. You know, that's a fun guy to have in your locker room and a great competitor,
that
too.
long, Curtis.
Well, I was calling him that when we were both playing together, too.
Yeah.
So it works.
A little bit bigger look, you know, kind of more of that bruising look.
Yep. And can deliver. He's a physical runner.
Why do you think he doesn't get as much touch? Is it?
I mean, I think it's just the stable you're in. You know,
Yeah.
Loggins is so incredibly talented. People kind of sleep on just how good he is because this offensive line is working the way it is, but he is incredible at what he does.
Couple of yards picked up as we head under 30 seconds. All right, Curtis.
That'll do it.
We already know Kainoa Jones going to get the game ball. Tell me what you take out of your first look at them in person this season.
Incredibly impressed. Very poised, very comfortable, super confident. I think this was a huge win for the program. Offensively, I've never seen them look so sharp and so just confident and consistent with what they're doing. This was really, really good to see.
Good sportsmanship from both teams. Again, not an easy trip for Eastern New Mexico and the Greyhounds as they come in and they get the opening drive and score. Coach Lee's team, though, will lose this game 49-20. Arn Ferguson and his entire coaching staff putting together basically a stellar performance from the moment they saw the football the first time, scoring on 7 consecutive drives. Now 4-2 and still sitting atop the Lone Star Conference. On behalf of everybody here at Woo TV and all of the production people involved with Flow Sports, I'm Matt Palumbo. This is Curtis Anderson. Everybody, have a great day and be well.